is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Ohio.
Could Sunday be the spark the Indians offense needed? Led by Jason Kipnis, who homered twice in his first start in the leadoff spot. The task today gets tougher as the Tribe welcomes Tampa Bay and their ace, Chris Archer. The Indians have their man on the mound in Carlos Carrasco, who tries to continue his early season success. Next on Sports Time Ohio. Crystal clear evening in downtown Cleveland as the Tribe welcomes the Tampa Bay Rays to town for the first time this year. And the Tampa Bay Iron Man, Evan Longoria, he'll be in the lineup. Of course, he's played more games than anybody in baseball since the start of the 2013 campaign. And the birthday boy in there tonight for the Tribe, Michael Brantley, turning 30 years old today. Well, hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. Indians coming off a big win against Minnesota, salvaging the series finale. The offense really broke out in a big way, and it's easy to say, well, it was the lineup shuffle that provided that spark. But the key is Jason Kipnis got it started early for the Indians.
First time he's hit leadoff this year, and boy, did he do it in grand style. A home run to lead the game off. He's done that before. Then he comes back with a single. Another big 3-run home run, and he's going to cap his day off with a base hit to left field. 4 for 5, 4 RBIs. And the change really did him good. I know it did the Indians good, and Santana even hit a home run from the number 5 hole, too.
Carlos Carrasco gets the start tonight for the Indians on the hill. And Terry Francona says the key to Carrasco is the level of consistency that he's bringing to each and every start.
Well, he realizes he's got to pick up the pace with Corey Kluber on the disabled list, and Carrasco has kept the ball down in the strike zone with his sliders, with his changeup, with his two-seam fastball. He's burying it at the knees. He's 5th in the league in ERA, and he has had electric stuff. And I'll tell you, it's no fun to go in there. Right-handers are having a difficult time hitting Carlos, and he has been brilliant. Only thing that he has to do is win at home. He's 4-0 on the road, but they just haven't scored for him here. He'll be matched up against another guy that's going to be tough to score against, Chris Archer. 3-1 on the season. His last 2 starts, he's had back-to-back 11 strikeout games, but 0-5 in his career against the Indians and 0-3 in this ballpark.
It should be a terrific pitching matchup. And when we come back, we'll hear from Alan Jensen, plus Andre will give us the latest on what the Indians have to do to try and have some success against Chris Archer. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by WB Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Nature Stone, the only concrete solution.
The Rays, Carlos Carrasco on the hill for the Tribe. Finished up his warm-ups. He is heading to the dugout, and he'll be heading out to the field in just a few moments. Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski, welcome back to center field. Our big story of the day is from last night. Derek Jeter, his number retired as a New York Yankee. And, you know, Jensen, for my money, and we saw a lot of shortstops play that were very good in MLB in the last 20 or 30 years. Derek Jeter, the best.
I think with Derek Jeter, you think about one thing. He was so clutch. And if you look at the numbers, especially for his career, the 7th inning and on, he hit .282 in his illustrious 20-year career. He was a focal point for the Yankees, one of their great captains. You see, he's immortalized in Monument Park. We talked about Francisco Lindor. He's early in his career, but he's hit .296 from the 7th inning and on. Why was Derek Jeter a leader? Because he made everyone around him better, and he got the big hit when they needed him to. That's what Frankie has done thus far in his career. Can it continue for another 20 years? Let's hope so.
That's a great question to ask, and it is a lot of fun. No question to watch Francisco Lindor night in and night out with Indians baseball. For the call of tonight's game, let's head upstairs. Here are Matt and Rick, guys.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, and a beautiful night in downtown Cleveland as the Indians continue the homestand and open up a 3-game series with the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa comes in 2 games under 500. They took 2 out of 3 from Boston at Fenway Park, and they come in tonight behind that man, Chris Archer, who's been throwing the ball very well here of late. The Indians will counter with Carlos Carrasco, but the more important question is, what do the Indians hitters have to do in order to have some success against Chris Archer? For the answers, we go down to our man on the know, Andre Knott.
Thank you very much, Matt. And I got to tell you, the clubhouse over here is concerned about going against Chris Archer. Last year when they faced him, he had issues with his fastball command, something that we've talked a lot about. This year, he's not having that problem. And tonight's Hear Right Sounds of the game, here's Brandon Geyer on talking about facing his former teammate.
It's one of the best pitches in the game for a reason. I don't know if there's one way. You just got to, if he leaves it up and over, a good pitch to hit, you got to take advantage of it. But, you know, when it's one of those that's, you know, tight and breaking a lot out of the zone, do your best to lay off of it. But, you know, like I said, I mean, it's one of the best pitches in baseball. So you just got to, you know, hope if you swing, you hit it.
The one thing that all the players told me when they were getting ready for Chris Archer is all about the arm slot. With his velocity, guys, they say it's hard to pick up that slider, but as Lonnie Chisenhall told me, everything comes out of the same arm slot, so you have to be selective and make sure it's a fastball or know it's a slider, or you're going to be in trouble going against Chris Archer.
Well, we will see if the Indians can make the necessary adjustments here tonight. Meantime, Carlos Carrasco takes the hill. Here's the starting lineup he will face for Kevin Cash and the Tampa Bay Rays, courtesy of Hankook Tires. Corey Dickerson leading it off, and he is red hot, hitting .340 with 6 home runs. He'll be the DH. Brad Miller hitting second. Evan Longoria, the veteran third baseman, in the 3 spot. Logan Morrison, Steven Souza Jr., and Colby Rasmus in the middle. Tim Beckham, Kevin Kiermaier, and Derek Norris rounded out.
Carlos Carrasco is our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher for the Tribe tonight, and he's off to a very good start to his year. 4-2, a 186, coming off a 7-inning dominant shutout innings, I might add, against the Toronto Blue Jays, where he struck out 7, did not walk anybody, allowed only 3 hits. Last year, one time he started against the Rays, he was 1-0 and pitched 8 innings, 4 hits, allowed 1 run in that game. He struck out 8 batters. So Carlos has been dealing, and they need him to step up big tonight and try and win a game 1 of this series. Let's check out the defense behind him tonight. That is brought to you by Ram. Brantley will be in left, Chisenhall in center, Almonte gets a start over in right. Ramirez and Lindor are on the left side. It'll be Kipnis and Santana on the right side, with Jan Gomes doing the catching.
Gary Cederstrom, the veteran home plate umpire, he'll serve as the crew chief. Gabe Morales at first, Ben May second, Eric Cooper down at third, and we are ready to go. 57 degrees will be our game time temperature here tonight. Not a cloud in sight. And temperatures expected to reach 80 degrees and beyond the next 2 days here in northeastern Ohio. So that we certainly look forward to.
It's gorgeous night tonight. Crystal clear.
Corey Dickerson leading it off. One of 5 left-handed bats in the lineup for the Rays tonight. First pitch fouled straight back. Dickerson coming off a series against the Red Sox in which he went 6 for 12 with 2 doubles, a triple, and 3 runs scored.
This guy's off to a good start himself. He's having a nice year. Talk about a .340 average, 6 homers, 12 doubles. Very good low ball hitter as well. So this should be a good matchup.
The Rays must feel like they're in the tropics after what they endured last night or yesterday afternoon at Fenway Park in Boston. It was 48 degrees at game time.
Yeah.
And they had 20-mile-an-hour winds with a sustained mist and drizzle all game long.
I saw some highlights, Matt, and I'm going to tell you something. Guys had headgear on. It looked like a miserable
According
day
to the Rays, it was the first 9-inning game with a first pitch below 50 degrees that lasted 4 hours or longer since 2009 here at Progressive Field when the Indians beat the Red Sox in a game that lasted 4 hours and 19 minutes. Something about Boston and brutal weather. They just go together, don't they?
Well, they can. They certainly can.
Meanwhile, Corey Dickerson putting up a pretty good at bat here against Carlos Carrasco, because usually when you get to 2 strikes, you don't hang around long against this guy.
No,
46 punch outs and 48 innings of work.
Especially if you're a Tampa Bay Ray, because they have struck out 411 times. They lead all of baseball in that category. And they've walked the most.
Dickerson chases it. It's in the dirt.
He's going to reach.
But Gomes won't be able to find it in time. So a strikeout and a wild pitch. And for Dickerson, that's his 32nd strikeout on the year.
It's a good breaking ball, and he makes him chase it down in the dirt, but it's just that Gomes couldn't find it. It ricocheted off. He's looking up in the air. Little does he know, it just lands behind him, and by the time he could get to it, Dickerson beats it out. So give Carrasco a strikeout, a wild pitch.
Brad Miller steps in. Miller likes that pink bat he used over Mother's Day weekend in Boston, so he's bringing it with him here.
Okay.
And it's not like he's been red hot. He's 4 for his last 40 in the month of May.
Yeah, it's almost like I never thought you could use it after Mother's Day. They used it over the weekend. But hey, it's legit. Especially if you got a few hits with it.
Well, and you know, he went 0 for 6. 0 for his last 6, and yesterday he had a streak in which he had hit in 4 straight snaps.
Oh, so that's surprising that he's using it.
He's proving that he's not superstitious, right? Or something.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
Well, he's 3-0 here, and Carrasco doesn't walk many. He's only put 8 men on base in 48 innings this year.
Yeah, Carrasco is normally out just pounding the strike zone.
And he walked him on 4 straight, so a strange start. The strikeout, but a wild pitch. Now a walk on 4 pitches, and Evan Longoria coming up.
Number 3, the third baseman, Evan Longoria.
Carlos can certainly get that ground ball and get a double play he could look for.
Longoria batted just .208 in April, but since the calendar turned to May, he's hit .313. And that's 5 straight that Carrasco has missed, and Gomes is concerned.
Well, yes, because he's all over the place right now, and we haven't seen him like this.
Well, Tom Bochenek says the 3-0 count to Longoria was only the 3rd of the year for Carrasco.
Yeah, he's normally strike one. Strike one 63% of the time for Carlos. And as all starters, sometimes in that first inning, it takes them a little bit to find their arm slot to lock in.
And there's a strike to Longoria to even the count.
Come in there with the slider. That's one of his pitches. It'll slow him down a little bit, get a feel for it. Don't try and rush it. Maybe if you're throwing the fastball. Longoria, no luck against Carrasco.
Bounce that foul.
But that's, I mean, right-handers just don't have a whole lot of luck against Carrasco. Hitting 161 on the year, right-handed batters. Lefties don't fare much better. They're hitting 197.
Kevin Cash played for Terry Francona in Boston, coached under him here in Cleveland, now managing in Tampa. A 1-2 pitch. Hit on the ground to third. Fair ball. Ramirez steps on the bag, goes across the diamond, double play.
There you go. And it was a nice easy double play where Ramirez had to just go to the bag and make the throw across. So it was fair. It was a nice hop for Ramirez. He missed with the fastball away. Gomes said something. He slowed him down with a slider. He gets that little change up there that he fouls off. And another one he grounds and tops to Ramirez that he steps on the base and throws across the diamond. Double play.
I know you weren't a pitcher, but what is it about getting a pitcher when he's having trouble with his fastball to go to an off-speed pitch to get everything in sync?
Sometimes maybe he's just trying to overthrow it, you know, or maybe flying open and you just want to just slow him down a little bit. You know, that first inning, you're geared up. You want to get off to a good start.
That's rocketed to right field, and that's going to give Tampa Bay the lead. Logan Morrison with a base hit. Here's the throw by Almonte in the second, not in time. And Morrison has his 5th double. RBI number 25, and Tampa leads it 1-0.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He hit a bullet down there. He goes down, and watch him drop the head of the bat on this one. Down and in, and smoked it at 96. Well, that's the pitch you want to hit off Carlos, is the 4-seamer, 96. And he did. He did not miss it. So they will play from in front. It's a 1-0 ball game.
It's the only hit of the inning. But obviously, the wild pitch on the strikeout, the walk, they play a role in helping Tampa grab the early lead. Now Steven Souza Jr. And he comes up empty. He had a home run yesterday in the 9th inning. He had gone 51 at bats between extra base hits. Carrasco looks, but no throw as Kipnis broke in behind the runner Morrison.
Well, he doesn't run well, so that's not a bad thought to keep him close. But when you get to 2 strikes, you just want to get him out, the hitter. But he had a pretty good lead out there.
The 0-1 pitch is in the dirt, nicely blocked by Gomes.
Boy, these catchers night in and night out have to go out there and do that with every pitcher. I mean, block, and there's not easy ones.
Well, not with the kind of stuff some of these guys possess. We're talking about the fastball coming in there mid to upper 90s at times, and then they get a slider that buries itself in the dirt. You have to be active. 1-1. And he threw the fastball by him.
Yeah, you can see from the first base dugout there shading their eyes so they can see.
Now the 1-2 pitch.
Nice.
And he struck him out. So Carrasco fans a pair here in the first, but Tampa grabs a 1-0 lead. The Indians are coming to bat. Carlos Carrasco trying to reel it in. Here's the Indians starting 9 for Terry Francona, brought to you by Progressive. Jason Kipnis, what a debut this year in the leadoff spot he had yesterday. Francisco Lindor bats second, Michael Brantley third, then it's Santana, Encarnacion, and Ramirez. Monty Chisenhall, Yan Gomes, Abraham Almonte rounding it out.
And Chris Archer, the Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for the Rays. He's having a nice start, 3-1, 3.04 ERA. In his last 2 starts, he struck out 11 in each ball game. But he had a no decision against Toronto, and he pitched very well against Kansas City. 8 innings, 5 hits, did not allow a run. 0-5 in his career, as we told you, against the Indians. 0-3 in his ballpark, but his fastball command has been the key for Archer this year.
And Jason Kipnis looks at a pitch up high for ball 1.
We all know he's got a very good slider. But when you get a pitch and it's going to be middle of the plate, you don't want to miss it.
Out of play. Kip's performance yesterday, in some ways, not a surprise because he's had a lot of success when leading off prior to yesterday. In his career, he's a .285 hitter with 16 homers, 77 runs batted in. That covers 181 games as the leadoff man. Upstairs, 2-1. In the driver's seat, brought to you by Kia. Also a .358 on base percentage, 24 steals.
Yeah, you know, maybe it felt like old Holmes hitting up there for the first time yesterday. You know, middle part of the line, I like to see him up in the top 2, and he's even hit third before as well. So makes things happen. He's more of an energy kind of guy.
Now the 3-1. And a foul in and out of the glove, full count.
He wanted to check and see if that last one was a strike on the 3-1 count.
Francisco Lindor waits on deck. Michael Brantley due up third. Indians down a run early. And the payoff in the dirt, ball 4. So the Indians get their leadoff man aboard.
Tried to throw that slider and he didn't budge. Let's check out the Rays defense, brought to you by W.B. Mason. It'll be Rasmussen left, Kiermaier in center, Souza Jr.'s over and right, Longoria at third, Beckham is the shortstop, Miller is at second, Morrison is at first, and Norris doing the catching.
Kevin Cash's ball club has scored 33 runs this year in the first inning. That's the most in the American League. The first inning has also been kind to the Indians. They've scored 24 runs in the first. They've also scored 24 runs in the 9th.
Yeah, that's their.
The only other inning in which they've scored more runs this year is the 3rd inning, in which they've scored 28. So the 1st, the 9th, and the 3rd, those have been their best scoring innings overall.
Go get you lotto pick. 193.
Lindor trying to find the magic here in the month of May that he had throughout April. He bunts one, it gets down, but right there to grab it, Longoria, and he nails the lead runner, Kipnis, for out number 1.
Well, too hard. He got it past Archer, but when you're Kipnis, you got to wait to see. And he didn't really hesitate. He saw the ball was going to get by him, so it wasn't a bad job of base running. It was just bunted too hard by Lindor, where Longo could come in and still make the play at second base. Normally, you would think the guy would go right at first and not look at that guy, but he had time to get Kipnis.
Now you've got a veteran who's practiced that play many times, I'm sure, and he's made it many times in his career. Here's Michael Brantley. Takes high, ball 1. Brantley hitting .288. Here at home, he's batted .308. He's actually had the same number of hits home and road, 16 each way.
Consistent. That is Michael. Home, road, it doesn't matter.
He's just had 7 fewer at bats at home, and that's the nature of the whole team. They've played more road games.
Right.
They're trying to catch up, if you will.
Oh, we'll catch up. After Wednesday's game, Thursday we have off. Take off to Houston for 3, and then Cincinnati for 2, and come back for 3 teams.
Lindor with 2 steals on the year. He's been caught once.
Had that second stolen base yesterday in the first inning after he had a push bunt to the right side of the infield.
These are nights when you don't have any clouds, when you got just pure sunshine. With the 6 o'clock start, it definitely gives you a bit of a different look on the field with the shadows, and as you mentioned, guys in the dugout, they can't see out there on the field.
And it gets worse as the summer goes along. Although after May, the games move to 7 o'clock, but it's still like this at 7.
Up high, and it's ball 4. So
he's having a tough time throwing strikes.
He's walked 2 already in the inning. Luckily for him, Lindor tried to bunt, and that yielded him an easy out. Storylines tonight brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Will it be a pitcher's duel? Occasionally you get these matchups and it looks like a pitcher's duel on paper and it winds up 10-0. And once again, a new look lineup for the Indians. Yesterday, the flip-flop of Kipnis and Santana. Tonight, the flip-flop of Encarnacion and Santana. Edwin goes from the 4 to the 5 spot, and Santana moves up into the cleanup role.
Probably take a little more pressure off of Eddie. He's been really fighting himself, I think, to relax and drive in runs.
Swung on and missed. Santana leads the Indians with 10 hits on the year with runners in scoring position. So the move, just in terms of sheer numbers, statistically makes sense. But Terry told me earlier today he just wanted to take a little bit of the spotlight off of Encarnacion. He still believes in him, but right now trying to play the hot hand. The 0-1 in the dirt, nicely blocked by Norris, and Lindor alertly scampers to third. He had a good read on it.
Yeah, he did, and it was nice. I want to see how Norris handled that pitch. But what surprised me, that first pitch after a 4-pitch walk to Brantley, Carlos getting to that number 4 hole, that hit his shin guard. That didn't hit the glove, and it rolled out front. That's what Lindor picked up, and you can see him running to third. So it's 1st and 3rd now. But getting back to that first pitch for Carlos in that leadoff, in the cleanup spot. Remember, sometimes you say you get into the runners in scoring position, you get a little aggressive. That was a ball for him. And normally he's very patient.
Especially when you got a guy who's had a tough time throwing strikes here in the first inning.
10 balls and 4 strikes, and one of those strikes was just the bunt by Lindor.
Santana blisters one to the gap in left center. That'll get down. Scoring is Lindor. The game is tied. Brantley pulls him to third. It's an RBI single for Carlos Santana. His team leading 11th hit on the year with a runner in scoring position. Drives home his 20th run of the year.
He didn't miss that fastball. Carlos, an excellent fastball hitter, held to a single, but he gets on it. It's up, it's out over the plate, and he stayed on it. A nice stroke to left center. Kiermaier does a nice job of cutting it off, and I think he sort of scared Santana. I think Carlos could have went to second, but he did not because Kiermaier got rid of it so quickly. So runners will remain at the corners and give Santana his 20th RBI. And back come the Indians in the first.
Edwin Encarnacion now stands in. 0 for his last 12 at the plate. Tampa Bay goes to a shift. They put 3 on the right side of the infield. And he hits it right to the shortstop Beckham. To second for 1, on to first, not in time. He beats it out and the Indians take the lead. Brantley scores and Encarnacion picks up RBI number 12.
Yeah, good hustle. Good hustle to get down there and beat it out. Thought it was going to be a double play off the bat, but with the shift, let's see how they turn it. He's got to go from the shortstop side to catch the ball, and the throw just a little weird. Maybe over towards the first base side. He didn't let him get enough on it. Archer thought he had made the pitch, but they didn't turn the double play. So the Indians take the lead. Encarnacion gets his 12th ribby, and he beats it out. Good hustle by Eddie.
And so Jose Ramirez will bat with a runner at first and 2 down. And he takes a quick strike. One ball, 1 strike. Ramirez had a phenomenal April. He hit .330 with 6 homers, 21 runs batted in. Now he's only played half as many games through the first part of May, but he's only hit .171 so far. No homers, only 3 runs driven in. It has been a stark contrast, and he's not the only guy in that same boat. Month of May has been trying at times for this Indians offense.
Yes, it has.
Down low.
Right now, the key is patience, man. You gotta really be patient with Archer. Fastball command has been great, but look at that. 13 out of 20 pitches have been balls out of the strike zone. So you certainly don't want to help him out. You sit on 1 pitch and get after it.
High ball 4, his 3rd walk of the inning.
Now
and it pushes Encarnacion into scoring position.
For
Now
Archer,
comes the pitching coach Jim Hickey.
Yeah, in his first 8 starts, he walked 2 batters in the first inning. He's already past that now. 3 walks in this inning. And Hickey's got to try to settle him down. What is it? Carrasco did the same thing, only not to the extreme that Archer's doing it.
Well, while you ponder that at home, here's our great clip of the game from yesterday. Lonnie Chisenhall. What a day it was for the Indians offensively. Kip hit a couple of home runs. Lonnie went deep.
You know what I like, Matty? It was the left-handers that took the left-hander deep yesterday. Santiago.
Carlos Santana also went yard, matching their season high with 4 home runs. This is the first time this year for Chris Archer and Carlos Carrasco that they've allowed a first inning run, and it happens on the same day.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we must have put up it's going to be a pitcher's duel.
You know,
as we talked about,
yeah.
We did it with Verlander and Kluber.
1-0's down and in, 2-0. Well, as you pointed out, Rick, as a hitter, you don't want to let this guy, off the hook here, but you have to be patient because he's 2-0 to Lonnie now.
Well, that's just it. I mean, you look for one right down the middle in the fastball. If you don't get it, take it.
High fly ball, right field. Is it deep enough? Souza, he's out of room. It's out of here. Lonnie Chisenhall, a 2-out, 3-run homer, and it's a 5-run first for Cleveland.
Well, Lonnie got his 2-0 fastball, and he certainly did not miss it.
What did you say? Look for one right down the middle.
Right down there, and you get after it and let it go. He did. And it's the 2nd straight day Chisenhall is home, right down in his wheelhouse. Fastball 2-0. There you go. Big fella. Put the swing on it. 3-pointer. And let's get it. A nice big inning for the Tribe in the first.
Right down Euclid Avenue. He bombed it out of here.
And I think every home run Lonnie has hit, that being number 4, there have been men on base. He's never hit a solo shot.
You know, he came in batting .389 this year with men on base. Not necessarily in scoring position, just any kind of traffic at all in front of him. And it just seems to elevate his game.
Well, that's a good sign right there. You come back and drop a 5 spot down.
Yan Gomes fouls it off to the right.
And it's stemmed around Archer's control, where he's fallen behind hitters. I mean, that's only the second hit he's given up in the inning. It's been the 3 walks, and 2 of those 3 have scored.
Archer's 2-strike pitch. Grounded too short. Beckham throws him out. Well, as we said, this will not be a pitcher's duel tonight. It's going to be a slugfest. The Indians respond with 5 in the first to take the lead.
The #1 live streaming sports service is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market game live at home, in the office, or on the go for just $19.99. Visit MLB.tv for the details.
You know, these fans treated to a barrage of early offense. Now, as we go to the second inning, we'll see which pitcher can make the adjustment. Colby Rasmus to lead it off for Tampa. He was on the DL, but since activated, he's picked up 8 RBI in 9 games. Rasmus takes a strike.
You know, coming in here, I almost forgot they had Colby Rasmus because he was on that DL. And he can get hot. We've seen him. He's a good outfielder no matter where you play him, whether it's left or center. When Houston was in town and he was with the Astros last year, he's the one that we talked about was playing so shallow and over to the line in left field, if you remember.
Spent the last 2 years with the Astros. Prior to that, parts of 4 seasons in Toronto and then St. Louis to start his career. Swung out and missed. Full count. He's never really been a guy that hits for much of an average, but you know, he's right around at 20 home runs every year, 20 or so doubles.
Yeah, he had that great playoff run with the long ball. Remember when they were playing Kansas City? He just got hot and was hitting the long ball. It was like, uh-oh, we better not pitch to this guy. He is on fire.
That pop off the bat of Rasmus went right over the top of the heads of the guys in the Indians dugout. He's down on strikes. That's 3 Ks for Carrasco. Let's go down to Andre.
You guys want to talk about confidence for Carlos Carrasco? He says he knows he's doing well right now because no matter what the catcher puts down, he agrees with it. He said in the past in his career he would see sliders, see curveball, and he would know it wasn't good and he would shake it. He says he feels so good right now that he can throw anything at any time. He says it's the best he's ever felt as a professional because he believes in everything his catcher's putting down.
You know, that's good to know. You know who else does that? That just is Chris Sale.
Yeah.
He looks and he doesn't shake the catcher off. He gets up and he throws it. So maybe it is a big confidence factor.
I hadn't really thought of it in those terms, but the more I think about it, it makes so much sense. If you've got confidence in every one of your pitches, you can put down whatever. I don't care. I'll throw them all. Well, whereas if you don't, if I'm really okay, I'm good with my slider, but I'm not so much sure I want to throw this pitch.
What do you say before you throw a pitch? Conviction. Has a pitch.
Conviction.
Yes. And that's true. You don't have that conviction. You're shaking. Maybe you're taking time. So now the confidence tells you that he can go out and do what he wants. Just listen to the catcher and trust him. That'll alleviate a lot of thinking in his game, and let's go. He'll take care of the hitters for you. You just concentrate on keeping the ball down and making your pitches and changing speeds.
Tim Beckham is the batter. In the dirt. Well, that's something we're going to have Jensen Lewis coming on during the game. It's something I want to ask him, though, from a pitcher's perspective. When you're on the mound, how much are you thinking of how I'm going to get this guy out sequentially, and how much do you say, the heck with me thinking about it, I'm just going to let the catcher worry about it?
Be a great question for him.
You know?
Yeah, well, when you're coming in and he was coming out of that bullpen, and you got to make your pitch, and you don't have your pitch, and you see the catcher put that down, what do you feel like?
Right. The 1-2. Now, obviously, the starter each and every day, the starter sits with the catcher before they start the game. They look at the scouting report, and they kind of get an idea in their head, hey, this guy, we're going to attack him, whether it's fastballs in, breaking balls away, or whatever the game plan is. They've got that already sort of laid out ahead of time.
Right.
2-2. But then you get
a little wiggle room, though.
But then you get into the game, and maybe what you thought going in doesn't match up with how you're throwing that night.
It could be plan B.
Yeah. Maybe you don't have the great slider that normally you have, so you've got to go different. Maybe the changeup is the way you go. I don't know.
Well, a starter has a little more wiggle room than relievers.
Definitely. Swing and a miss. Carrasco has struck out 3 in a row.
Well, we told you the Rays are no strangers to strikeouts. That's 415 on the year. But you see that pitch there, that nice little changeup. The movement of it, awfully tough to hit.
That gives Carrasco 50 strikeouts in exactly 50 innings of work. Popped out of play. Kevin Kiermaier. He blisters one, and that's not coming back. Tampa Bay comes right back with a solo run on the board here in the second. And it trims the Indians' lead to 5-2. So Kiermaier with his 3rd home run of the year, and that gives him a hit now in 7 of his last 8 games.
50th home run for the Rays. The 6th that Carlos has given up. Kiermaier his 3rd, and you just watch a fastball out over the plate. That's a 4-seamer. He put a really nice swing on it. That was a line drive, and it got out of here in a hurry. Well, back they come. They put one on the board. 2-out homer.
We've kind of seen this offensive approach coming from Tampa Bay. This isn't new this year. It just seems to be, Rick, an all or nothing type approach. They swing for the fences. They're going to hit some home runs, but it also results in a lot of strikeouts. Derek Norris, the catcher, singles through the left side of the infield to keep the inning alive, and we turn it back over to the top now, and Corey Dickerson.
Well, they have 3 hits that first time through the lineup, but there it is. That was upstairs. Another fastball. That tells me that they're searching that heater early. You know, we have seen a lot of maybe some slider first pitches to get ahead, or some change ups.
If anybody knows Carlos Carrasco, it's Kevin Cash. Well, he was very instrumental in getting Carrasco back into the starting rotation for the Indians.
Yes, he was.
Corey Dickerson struck out his first time up, but he reached on a wild pitch. Count 1-1. Two balls and a strike. Both pitchers here in the early going, searching for it. Carrasco had struck out 3 in a row before the home run to Kiermaier. And the base hit by Norris, and now he's behind Dickerson 2-1. On the ground in the hole, Kipnis has it. Throws, got him! Dynamite play by Jason Kipnis on a ball that initially looked like it was perfectly threaded between first and second. But watch the JK kid stop, whirl, fire. Got him.
tickets and skip lines by gaining access to our mobile-only gates. Plus, you can unlock some special offers from our partner KeyBank and more. Visit Indians.com for more information.
Bottom of the second inning, and Abraham Almonte will lead it off. And a fastball strike. Almonte just one hit in his last 27 at bats. And he hits a ball to deep center. Kevin Kiermaier back at the wall, can't make the play. And Almonte speeding around second. He's got third base easily, and he'll go in with a stand-up triple.
Yeah, that ball was laced.
So like so many of the Indians hitters who broke out of their slumps yesterday, Abraham Almonte crunches this ball.
Well, if you get it past Kiermaier in center field, one of the best, I'll tell you what, you deserve the hit. He made a nice attempt to get there, but the ball got to the wall just out of his reach. It ricochets off, and Almonte was hustling all the way. That'll be his second triple. And a leadoff triple to start the second. Way to go.
And up comes Jason Kipnis, who walked to start the game for the Tribe. Tampa brings the infield in, down 5-2 here. And ball one. Kipnis so far this year has gone 6 for 19 with runners in scoring position, so he's in a pretty good spot here.
Well, interesting. They bring the infield in with nobody out, but they feel 5 runs given up already. They got to try and keep it right there. Redbird told me there's been 3 triples in this ballpark this year. Almonte has 2 of them. And that one was a ringing triple, man. Straight away center. He smoked that ball.
Kipnis being very patient, and that is so often the key. It's 2-1. So often the key in this situation, you don't want to let the pitcher off the hook by being too aggressive.
No, that's what I wish more hitters would do now. When you get runners in scoring position, be a little more patient. You get 3 swings at him. And this guy's been wild today. He's been upstairs. He doesn't have his good slider. He can't command his fastball. You'd be doing him a favor if you swing early in the count, I think. He's struggling out there. This is only, they sent 8 men to the plate in the first, and then the guy leads off with a triple, and it's like, oh, here we go again. He's coming out of the stretch, and he didn't have much luck in the first.
Kipnis almost pulled the trigger, but took ball 4.
Second time he's walked. That's patience, man. That's all right. Move the line. Trust the next guy. It's already 4 walks for Archer.
Kevin Cash signaling to the middle infielders to play double play depth. They'll trade the run for a double play ball here in the middle.
Archer did have 1 start, April, against the Baltimore Orioles. April 24th, he walked 5 batters. Well, he's got 4 here. He's only in the second inning.
Francisco Lindor to the plate. Now, this is where Lindor could take a page from Kip's book.
Yes, indeed.
Try the patient approach.
Well, he tried to bunt in the first inning after he walked Kipnis. You know, and you sort of help him out when a guy's struggling. Sit and wait. And again, we talked about Colby Rasmus. I'm looking out there. He's in shallow over towards the line and left.
Swing and a miss. Mike Sarbaugh, the coach, at third. Sandy Alomar over at first. Nobody out. Indians at the corners. In the dirt, nicely blocked by Norris. The runners both hold. And that's 21 out of 36 that have missed the strike zone for Archer.
Yeah, and that one, he's spiking that slider. He's thrown 6 balls down in the dirt there.
Bouncer to first. Foul ball.
Boy, it's a good thing it was, because that was a terrific play. They're still running into it, and it's a foul ball. Tell you what, Gabe Morales called it at first base, but Morrison over there played that pretty well. That's why that left-handed first base, and watch him step on the base and throw home. He would have had an easy double play there.
By inches, huh?
Yes, by inches. And I mean, he gets rid of it quickly, and Almonte couldn't go anywhere. He would have been caught in a rundown, so that's a break for the Tribe there.
Lindor down in the count, now a ball and 2 strikes. He has 20 runs batted in on the year.
Well, the second hitter he's been ahead of.
And he chased one in the dirt.
Well, the aggression shows right there. Exactly what happened. That's Archer's first strikeout tonight, and he swings at a ball and gets himself out. Slider in the dirt. Took one earlier in the count, but he just wants to get that guy in from third so bad. He expanded his strike zone.
So that brings up Michael Brantley. Brantley walked in the first. And Archer gets ahead with a quick strike. Look at that, 59 strikeouts against 16 walks entering tonight. But it's been the exact opposite so far. Just getting his first strikeout. After already issuing 4 walks.
No, they've hit some balls hard too. Santana's single was a rope.
And now it's 0-2 on Brantley.
Well, you know, that's what can happen to a guy when he's in this situation. And the next thing you know, something clicks where, you know, Lindor helped him out, get that one out. He's a strikeout pitcher. He can find a way to get himself out of it.
Brantley, though, a .298 hitter with 2 strikes on him, 5th best in the American League. Seems like since the day we saw him arrive, he has been a good 2-strike hitter. And I think part of it is he understands I'm not going to succeed every time, but he's not afraid to look bad if it happens. If it happens, it happens. If a pitcher makes his pitch, makes you look bad, hey, you tip your cap to him.
He's not afraid to hit in this count. 0-2. Some hitters are.
Kipnis takes off, ball's in the dirt. The throw is not in time, and it gets away. Indians will steal a run as Almonte comes home. So Kip gets his 2nd steal of the year, and Almonte benefits. It's 6-2 Cleveland.
Well, I like the aggressiveness there, because, you know, 1st and 3rd, he's got to make sure the guy's not running. You're down in the count. You're probably going to see a slider here, which he does, or a changeup, and then he had to backhand. It's a bad throw, and then by the time Beckham can catch it, it goes off his glove, and they steal a run there. So good job, Kipnis, a stolen base, and they get that run home from 3rd.
And still only 1 out for Michael Brantley, and a 1-2 count. And that gets away from Norris. Kipnis to 3rd on what I think is a pass ball. I was looking from up top here. I didn't
crossed
see
up, I think.
What happened to Norris?
Let's see what happens. He's sitting there. He's looking for the fastball, and that ball, he was crossed up.
Almost hit him in the knee again.
Yeah, again. So, see, that's a slider. He's looking for a fastball, so he got crossed up. So it will be a pass ball, but it's not his fault, unless he forgot what he put down. I don't think so.
It's like the quarterback forgetting the snap count.
Yeah. So
infield in for Tampa. 1 out, and Brantley, who was down 0-2, is now back to even 2-2. You have to wonder about Archer's confidence all of a sudden. He comes back and strikes him out. So he's got back-to-back Ks, and there are 2 down in the inning.
That was the best slider he's thrown tonight. In off the plate. It wasn't really a strike, but Michael got after it, and he comes up empty. So it's back-to-back strikeouts. So the stolen base paid dividends, and the error on Norris.
Santana with an RBI single to left center his first time up. We don't see him go opposite field all that often, but boy, he stayed on that first pitch so well. Tops it foul. 1-1. Boy, and the pitch counts for both guys really piling up. Archer has thrown 24 balls, 21 strikes. And Carrasco was, I think he was close to 40 through the 2 innings.
Yeah, but he has 4 strikeouts.
1-1 pitch. That was up to 97.
Well, he's thrown some better pitches in this inning because he was forced to after the leadoff triple and Kipnis walked. Lindor helped him out a little bit after he got the first out. He smells he can get out of it, and his job is to try and get through this.
Into the shift, Brad Miller throws out Santana to end the inning. But a leadoff triple by Abraham Almonte leads to another run. It's 6-2 Cleveland. One tonight. Stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Cleveland out to a 6-2 lead. Chris Archer erratic in the beginning, and they have made him pay for those mistakes. He's walked 4. Carlos Carrasco, not as sharp as we have seen so far this year, but he's limited the damage to just 2 runs in the first 2 innings. And we'll see if he can get on track. He has, as Rick pointed out, he has struck out 4. Brad Miller walked and scored in the first. And he's fallen behind him again here, 2-0. That's the thing about Miller. He's 4 for 40 in the month of May, but he's walked 30 times already this year, and that's the most in the American League.
There. You know, those walks, if you're not getting the base hit, it certainly keeps that slump away, you know, where you keep that on base percentage up. That's why you can hit the number 2 hole. If you're at least drawing some walks and getting on base. You know, would he had 30 home runs for him last year, and they feel he's going to come around. They don't care about the swing and miss, obviously.
Well, that's the new, buzzword statistically, OPS, on base plus the slugging percentage. If you draw the walks, you hit for extra base power.
Yeah.
You're
like
everybody's
that.
darling. There's a line drive single into a right field, and Miller is aboard for Tampa to start inning number 3.
Now Carlos has made some mistakes on the plate today with the 4-seamer, and they haven't missed it. They've hit it pretty well.
Well, it helps.
Morrison smoked it, and Kiermaier hit that 4-seamer and right here.
Helps the hitter when you're ahead of the count.
Exactly.
You can zero in, as you said.
You don't expand your zone like you do when you're down in the count.
Yeah, when Lonnie was up there, the 2-0 count, you said you can look right down the middle.
And if you don't get it, spit on it.
Longoria singles by Santana. Miller will stop at second.
That was a nice approach there. Going on the inside out. I can see why he's hitting 300 in May. If he's got that approach right there. He's a good hitter. And, he can pull on you, but when this is what you want to do. Holes open, they know they're down. They need base runners. Another 4-seamer down and away. He stayed on it. Didn't try to pull it. Shoots it to right field. They're getting aggressive on Carlos's fastball. You're going to see more off-speed pitches, I would imagine. But that's where you want to throw them for strikes and get ahead of them.
The aggressive approach by Tampa paying off when they've jumped on the first pitch. They're a perfect 3 for 3. Outside.
Change up away.
All one to Logan Morrison, who absolutely clobbered a double to right field his first time up. Morrison has hit 4 home runs in his last 9 games. So he's locked in. Chops this one to first, and Santana to second. There's one. Back to first.
Nice.
Not in time, says first base umpire Gabe Morales.
Carlos did a nice job getting over there. It was close. Tito's going to say, hold on a second. Let's take a look. It wasn't a one-hop bullet, but I'll tell you, it was nicely turned, and he was probably safe. Got the foot down.
No challenge.
No. Oh, close. Oh, close.
So first and third, 1 out, and Steven Souza Jr. to the plate. Struck out his first time up. Carrasco struck him out to end the first inning. It looked like he was completely overmatched by Carrasco. He shows bunt. Well, maybe that shows you how he's feeling.
Well, he swings hard. He has pretty good power. Yeah, and if you're Tampa, the deal at hand is, hey, we're down. We got to try and peck our way back in, and every run counts. That's why a situation right here. There's a heads-up play. Takes the double play out. Another wild pitch.
Second one of the night for Carrasco.
Ball in the dirt. You read it. He takes off late. And you see they've got Carlos now. He's not throwing his off-speed pitches as consistently as he did on the road. So they move up, double play out of order. So you give the run to get an out unless you can strike him out or pop him up.
Kobe Rasmus waiting on deck. Bullseye. And these are the nights, as we've learned over the years, these are the nights that tend to separate pitchers. When you don't have your stuff, can you find a way to compete and hang around?
Yes.
Because the other team figures it out pretty quick. You don't have much tonight.
Well, you have 5 runs on the first inning after you give up one in the first. So you've got to find a way to keep your team around this ball game. That'll get one home and go to third with it.
Lonnie Stroh's coming home, and it's closer than I thought it was going to be. Miller just does beat the tag, and there are 2 down in the inning as it's now a 6-3 ball game. Gives Souza his 23rd RBI on the year. Lonnie made that awfully close.
Yes, he did. I still think it might have been an easier throw to third, but you're right. He does make it close. One hop throw, but that's a long way from center field.
Let me ask you something. Is that your decision as a center fielder all the way?
Yeah.
Or are you listening for the cut?
Well,
man?
you're looking for both help. You're looking for help. You know the situation. You know who's running at second. You know, I would have went to third. You got the slower runner and keep him on second base. But you know, he already has 2 wild pitches tonight. But it doesn't matter. You got to learn. He made it close, but I think your best throw is to go to third and keep him on second base.
Now, Arch, I've had Tito tell me he likes having Lonnie out there because he likes having a big arm in center field, because there's not a lot of big arms in center field anymore in baseball.
There's not, but how many are going to throw him out is the bottom line.
Santana takes it himself. That ends the inning. Rays have scored 1 in each of the first 3 innings, but the Indians lead it 6-3. Encarnacion first inning. Not exactly what he had in mind, but he doesn't put his head down. He hustles, beats it out, keeps the inning alive. And what happens after a walk to Jose Ramirez? Ronnie Chisenhall.
Yeah.
Good night.
Absolutely. That's 3 runs. So you get down the line, you keep the inning going. That ends up being a huge play in that first inning. He didn't do what he wanted to do, but you know what? That's one thing you do every day. You have to hustle, and he did down the line.
Because initially, you're looking at it going, oh, that's a double play. That's going to end the inning.
Yes, it is, and it looked like it. But you know what? They didn't turn it as quickly as I looked, but you got to hustle every time, and he did.
2 quick strikes from Chris Archer. He's now thrown 1 more strike than balls here tonight. Brad Miller throws him out. Our stat of the game is brought to you by Buick, and boy, series openers have not gone well for the Indians. They've lost their last 6 in a row, and a big reason for that is they haven't scored.
Yeah, that is true. That's what happens. Well, you know, the goal going into a series is try to win the series, you know, and it helps if you win game 1. If you don't, then you got to win the next 2, and you certainly don't want to get swept, and they didn't do, you know, with Minnesota in town, that didn't happen. But it helps when you win game number 1. Well, especially for both these teams tonight, because they have both the best pitchers going. So you want to win that first game with your best pitcher on the mound. You expect to win every game with him on the mound.
The 2-0. There's a strike. It's funny. Tom Bochetic told us earlier tonight, hey, boy, you know, first time through the order, nobody touches Archer. Second time through the order, not much better. But boy, that third time through the order, the hitters have the upper hand. I don't know if he'll be around to face this lineup a third time around.
Well, he's starting to get it together, but he's gone deep into counts. He's fell behind a lot of hitters tonight. You're right. There you'll see the numbers.
Right now facing Ramirez, who's batting 6th tonight for the second time, and he misses outside a full count. I think for both Archer and Carrasco, it's a frustrating feeling when you've been, you know, really so good for the most part in every start, and then you have one like this and you just can't seem to make that ball go where you want to. It's another walk, and that's 5 issued by Archer.
Did you see the reaction by Archer?
I mean, you can see the frustration. You can feel the frustration.
I could hear him up here. And he ties a season high. So for walks this year at 5. Well, it's time to place your votes and send the Indians to the 2017 All-Star Game. It'll take place in Miami. Fans can vote 5 times a day and up to 35 times total. Go to Indians.com and cast your ballot.
Well, here's Lonnie Chisenhall, who sat on a 2-0 pitch and unloaded for a 3-run homer in that first inning. We just showed it to you a moment ago.
Change up right there for strike 1. That's okay. You don't like that pitch. Archer says, I got to get ahead of him this time. Going to follow it up with another one.
Bounced it, and Ramirez will hold as he scampers back to first. And I'll tell you what, Morrison did a nice job to pick that throw. It was in the dirt. And so was Ramirez's face as he dove back down into the bag. Watch the
face
return.
first. Yeah, he was going to go, and that's okay. Anticipating that ball in the dirt. Slide to the back part of the bag as he did.
Another off-speed pitch, and he gets ahead of him 1-2. Chris Archer, for those of you not aware, he was originally drafted by the Indians. They sent him to the Cubs in the Mark DeRosa deal after the 08 season. Cubs sent him to the Rays, and the Matt Garza deal. Archer and actually Brandon Guyer went to Tampa in that trade. It's one of those deals where, you know, I don't know. You think anybody really knew what they had in Chris Archer at that point? I think he had, let's see, five wins and 18 losses in the minor leagues, an ERA in the 4s or 5s. You know what I mean?
Well,
he's turned out to be a really good pitcher, but sometimes hard to project.
Yes, and it takes some people a little more time.
Lonnie goes down on strikes. Third K for Archer. I know that, you know, in years past, when the Indians swung that big trade for Bartolo Colon, they had a pretty good idea. They liked Grady Sizemore and Brandon Phillips and Cliff Lee, but they had no idea that it would turn out to be the bounty in return that it was.
Because it's a crapshoot when you get, you know, young prospects. You just never know. Sometimes, you know, that turns out like that one, which everybody looked at and says, I want one of those trades if I'm going to trade my superstar. It doesn't happen. You may think you're getting that kind of deal, and the next thing you know, here comes arm surgery, here comes somebody gets hurt, and, you know, the next thing you know, you're lucky to have one player out of the trade when you traded a great one.
Think about the CC Sabathia trade. All we really heard about was Matt Laporta. Michael Brantley was sort of, and this.
And then
Michael
there was
Brantley.
3 other guys involved there that never panned out too.
Zach, pitcher, was it Zach Jackson? Zach Jackson, the left-hander, I think.
Right.
Rob Bryson. But you're right. I mean, you do the best you can when you're scouting and you're trying to project how a guy might fit, how he might work into your plans. You don't hit on all of them, but
well, if you come through with something like that, that's a special trade you'll never forget when you get a couple players in a deal like that.
That's hit pretty well. Yan Gomes sends it to deep left field, and it is off the top of the wall. Coming around third, Ramirez flying home. He will score, and Yan Gomes stays red hot. Double number 6, and so far in the month of May, he's played 9 games. He has 4 doubles and a homer. He's batting close to 400.
Yeah, Yan Gomes now with his 6th double, and he drives this one off the wall. I thought it had a chance to get out of here. He threw him the slider in, and Gomes just sat there and waited for it. You can see it misses by about 5 feet up at the top of that green wall out there. Ramirez knew it was in. It was not going to be caught, so he was off and running on the play and scoring easily. So Yan Gomes, 6th ribby, nice at bat.
Batting .384 now in the month of May. And the Indians.
And you know, as you talk about getting yourself, he got off to a bad start, you know, horrendous start, like he never wanted to, and he was trying so hard. But it doesn't. He gradually worked his way out of it. You don't come out of it in a series. You don't come out of it in a week. It takes a lot of hard work and patience. And the patience is what's paid off for him, I believe.
I agree. I think, I don't know that they correlate 1-to-1, but just watching him take his walks. Whereas last year it seemed like he had to try and hit his way out of it. This year he's just said, you know what, if they don't pitch to me, I'm going to take the walk.
It's a different mindset, and the patience has really paid dividends for Yan.
The 0-2 pitch, out of play. I don't have my scorecard right in front of me, but I think it was the other night when Urban Santana was out there dealing.
He had the best.
And he walked Yan Gomes. You know, because Gomes was patient.
It was down 9. That's right.
He couldn't walk anybody, it didn't look like. And then
when he did that, he had the best at-bats against Santana than our whole team did.
Yeah.
He had the best at-bats there. That's why I almost thought that he was going to play yesterday even though he wasn't going to catch because Perez was in there. But I didn't want to take that bat out of the lineup because he's swinging it well.
Well, Yan Gomes adds another run on the board for the Tribe. They've scored in every inning. They lead it 7-3. And here in the fourth inning, it will be the bottom third of the Tampa order to face Carlos Carrasco. Tim Beckham, Kevin Kiermaier, Derek Norris. Beckham struck out his first time up. Neither pitcher has been able to find his own level of comfort or consistency.
No, you can tell both of them are working hard out there to try and find what they're used to or what they have been pitching with.
Neither bullpen has seen any activity to this point as Carrasco.
Well, let's put it this way. We've already played 3 innings and we don't have a 0 on the board. And we thought this was going to be the big pitching matchup, okay? So,
well, we've got 10 runs on the board, 9 hits, a slew of walks. 1-1 to count on Beckham. Beckham's been a guy that's picked up the pace. He has 12 runs batted in for Tampa in the month of May alone. Takes something off, and Beckham way out in front of it.
See Chisenhall moving over to right center now. When they get to 2 strikes, got to pull his left fielder with him. He was playing straight away to left center. Now he's over in right center. So
swung out and missed. Carrasco has logged strikeout number 5.
let's take a look at the sequence here and see how Carlos goes about it. He's going to throw a fastball in to get ahead and a couple of breaking balls and puts him away with that slider away outside edge after he showed him inside a couple of times and off speed pitches, then went away for the strikeout.
Kevin Kiermaier looks at a pitch outside for ball 1. He homered in the second inning. That gives him a hit in 7 of his last 8 games, 9 for his last 25 at the plate.
Well, he didn't miss this home run. He hit a fastball, boy, out over the plate. Just the sound of it, you knew he hit it on the sweet part of the bat.
high, 3-0. This seems to be one of those nights for both pitchers where everything locks into place, maybe for a sequence of pitches, maybe for a batter, and then poof, it's gone again. And
yeah,
they're
Carlos
back to
had
searching
getting the final out of the first inning, and then the first two in the next inning at 3 straight.
Indians, or the injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk and Elk. And for Tampa, that trio all ailing at the moment. Tommy Hunter spent some time here with the Indians last year. Mickey Callaway goes to the mound to talk things over with Carlos Carrasco and company. Mickey's usually good for a laugh.
Yeah, why not?
Keep the mood light. Look, Carrasco's been so good, and look, I think everybody recognizes it's one of those nights, and he's out there scrapping and trying to keep it all together.
Yeah, well, one pitch away from getting a double play ball and get out of this inning. And you know, now Terry wants to find out exactly what was said.
Well, he didn't go directly to the bat phone, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Alfred, fire up the Batmobile.
He's looking for Norris to roll over on one for a double play.
A little
he can't
wide.
command the fastball. Neither pitcher has good command of their fastball tonight. They're falling behind. They're pitching from behind, and you know what? You turn into a mortal when you pitch from behind too much. I don't care how well you've been pitching.
And it's low, 2-0. It has to be as frustrating as it is for the pitcher. I imagine it's got to be just as frustrating for the catcher, trying to mentally go through, okay, this isn't working, that's not working.
Well, he's trying everything he can. They try and slow him down.
It's a swing and a miss. It's 2-1.
You know, when's the last time? I remember in his last start against Toronto, we talked about how many first pitch strikes he threw. He's got 5 2-0 counts tonight, and we're in the 4th inning. That's not Carlos Carrasco. You know that. It's not him. He's fighting his mechanics or something.
That one's in off the plate. The first man up in either bullpen tonight is Nick Goody, who's getting loose for Cleveland. Carrasco, 65 pitches, 35 strikes. And he's walked the number 9 hitter. So he strikes out Beckham to start the inning and then walks the 8th and 9th place hitters to set it up now for the top of the order. And Corey Dickerson, who will face him for the 3rd time tonight.
Well, you don't see this happen too often, so you know there's something going on.
And a look of concern on the faces of Mickey Callaway and Terry Francona, because Carrasco has been so good and so consistent all year long, but tonight he is really fighting it.
Well, this reminds me of the outing that Cody Allen had in Detroit, where he curveball couldn't throw it. Fastball was all over the place. He just ended up rearing back and saying, "Here, let's go, challenge him, and let's see if you can hit me." When you look at the two guys, the starter comparison, look at that. Carlos 5 hits, Archer 4, 6 walks, or excuse me, 5 walks to 3. Those are numbers you're not used to seeing from these guys.
Dickerson pops it up, foul ground. Ramirez, no, can't get to it. Imagine, though, the lift that this has to give Tampa in their dugout. You're down early 7-3, and now he's walked back-to-back hitters,
bottom of the lineup,
giving them an opportunity to maybe claw their way right back into this thing.
Yeah, they got to feel good about themselves. I want to send along some birthday wishes. Now we have an opportunity. Our own Redbird Mike Pacta, his birthday today. Redbird, happy birthday.
He was born on the night Len Barker.
Yes, he was
game.
on the night, exactly. Should have named him Archie.
He was hatched. He was hatched that night.
He was. Also, Gene Teed of Walton Hills is 87. Happy birthday.
Now the 1-1. Dickerson turning it loose. He's in the hole, 1-2. This will be pitch number 70. He hit that ball and nearly off the ground, and it's foul.
He hit that with a wedge.
Watch where this pitch is when he makes contact.
I told you he's a good low ball hitter. Holy smokes. Well, he stayed alive, didn't he? That's.
He was trying to hammer a nail into home plate.
You don't see. Will not see that too often. Just picking it up off the ground to stay alive.
Now the 1-2. Swung out and missed. A great changeup. And that's his 6th strikeout of the night. 2nd out of the inning.
There's a good changeup. I got out front and watched the movement on it. Down there, excellent location. He really had the fingers spread on that one. You know, he can throw that 90, 91 at times. That one, I believe, was at 88.
Yeah.
Because those fingers, the farther you spread them, the slower it is. But he had great movement on that one.
Well, here's Brad Miller. Walked and scored in the 1st, singled and scored in the 3rd. You know, this is maybe one of those games where when Kevin Cash was so instrumental in getting him back into the rotation, the most important lesson Carlos learned was go as hard as I can for as long as I can, and then they'll go to the bullpen. So on a night where maybe you don't have it, you're not thinking about, I've got to get to the 6th. I've got to get to.
Right.
You're just going. And when Terry says you're done, then you're done.
Especially when they give you 7 runs and they haven't been scoring. And especially here, they haven't scored for him. So, yeah, this is one he's got to battle his way through. Give it all you got right now. And if you get out of this inning, give us one more.
I suppose there's a little bit of selfishness in every pitcher that, hey, I got 7 on the board. I got to get through 5, man. I got
Darn
a chance
right.
at a W here.
Well, you do. You know, there's those times where in the early part of this month they haven't scored for many of these starters. So when you get some, you better take advantage of it.
They didn't score 7 runs in the whole series against Kansas City. 1-1 pitch. He falls behind. 2 balls and a strike. Two on, 2 out. And a hard hit ground ball into right field. Almonte charging. They're going to wave Kiermaier home, and the throw goes behind to second base. It's 7-4. And Miller has his 2nd hit of the night, his 14th RBI on the year.
Well, he went down and got after it. He's been on all 3 tonight, on all 3 times. Look at this. Change up down, but it was middle of the plate. You see where Gomes had to reach back? And I think,
oh, this is not good.
Well, I know the
trainer
trainer's coming out. I don't know if they're doing this for more time. I don't think so. Goody would have enough. Maybe something is wrong with Carrasco. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, you have to wonder now, looking back when Mickey Callaway went out, when he came back to talk to Terry Francona, if there wasn't something of a physical nature that they were discussing. That's the last thing.
Well,
this
I'm
team
sure
needs.
Tito will look him in the eyes and ask him himself. He's done.
Well, it will be a Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen, and everyone who roots for the Indians will hold their collective breath until we receive word that all is hopefully okay with Carlos Carrasco. He's out with 2 on and 2 out in the 4th, and the Indians leading it 7-4. Head athletic trainer James Quinlan in the dugout, and we'll get word to you just as soon as we find out the reason for Carrasco's early exit. Now, it could have very easily been that he wasn't pitching well and Terry wanted to take him out of the game, but when you bring the trainer out with you, it leads you to believe there might have been something else going on.
Yeah, nothing that we noticed, but we'll find out.
So Nick Goody, who has done a terrific job for the Indians this year, 12th appearance, 12 2/3, and he'll be facing Evan Longoria with 2 on and 2 out, and with the Indians leading 7-4. But
you know, I think Cederstrom went out and talked to Goody, saying, "Look, you have all the time you want if you want to keep
because it was
loose."
an injury situation.
Yeah, because
right.
the trainer was out there, and I think Goody just said, "No, I'm fine."
Yeah, luckily,
because he was up throwing.
Bingo. So Arch, on the year, right-handed hitters.
Oh, he's been nasty.
Are 3 for 29 against Goody. Lefties 1 for 10.
Well, you want to keep this right where it is at right now. 7-4 game. Come in and get this out if you can. Because the one single in the inning after the walks, Carrasco had 3 walks. Archer has 5.
Oh, nice fastball. Tied him up. Good movement. Was up. You don't want to let Longo extend, and you don't want to give him anything cheap that he can turn on.
Well, he just got it up high enough and in enough, which is very good after throwing that first slider. So see if they go back in for a fastball or go slider away.
Slider away, and he yanks it to left. That's trouble. That's going to score. Norris streaking into third is Miller, and he gets a late stop sign. And it's a 7-5 ball game. So right back come the Rays.
Yeah, went with that slider and didn't get it away. Got too much of the plate, and Longoria paid the price. 0-2 count or 0-2 pitch. Watch it.
Not a terrible
No,
pitch.
it wasn't that bad of a pitch, but it had enough of them. He had to be looking for that pitch. He drilled it down into the corner. It makes it a 7-5 game now.
And they're going to walk Logan Morrison intentionally. So he gets the 4-pitch pass and goes to first. And up comes Steven Souza Jr. with the bases loaded. They want a righty-righty matchup. Roller to short. Inning over. Rays leave them loaded, but they get 2 more. They close the gap to 7-5, middle of the 4th. Inning. Matador and Rick Manning, Andre Knott as per usual. And now we're joined by Jensen Lewis out in the center field studio. And Jensen, as I said, we expected a lot of runs to be scored tonight. Figured it would be a slugfest. All right, from your vantage point, what are we seeing tonight? Why are both of these guys struggling? Obviously, Carrasco has now exited the game. We're not sure potential injury there, but what have you seen?
I think you start with Archer, and we're all human, Matt. You look at the numbers coming in, and he knew that. He knew this was the only team that really has handled him throughout his career. So I think you go to 2 things. Number one, the walks killed him early on in this game, and the Indians finally made a starting pitcher pay for that. You get out early. Now the offense is kind of giving him some breathing room again. It's only a 2-run deficit, but the trouble for him, I think Rick hit on it, it's fastball command and the inability to consistently command his slider so far.
Jason Kipnis has been very patient thus far here tonight. He's drawn a walk in each of his 2 plate appearances. Leading off for the 2nd time tonight.
Yeah, patience is the key word. I mean, for the 2 starters today, you have to. There's been hitters hitting in a lot of good counts. I know that. And when they got to give in to you, I don't care how good you are.
Good changeup. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Jensen, when you're a starter, obviously you were a bullpen guy in your career here in the big leagues. But for starting pitchers, because you've been around enough of them to know, when they don't have it, when it's one of these nights where they're trying to somehow piece it all together, how much do they rely on the guy behind the plate versus what they think they can do in their own head?
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it, because game calling can really take you one of two ways. Execution, first of all, I mean, they're going to give you the ideas of what they think is best that first time around the lineup. And I think you look back at the locations of where Archer did not execute, and the Indians took advantage of those mistakes. But now that second and third time around, I think Norris has made some great adjustments. They've pitched backwards a little bit. They've got some of these Indians now off of his fastball, and I think Archer has pitched ahead. When you can pitch ahead and especially got the fastball down in the zone, that's where he's had more success here in the third and fourth inning.
What did you do when you were a pitcher and you go out there and you know you don't have your best pitch, and all of a sudden the catcher's starting to call for it when you don't have a lot of confidence in it?
You got to fake it to make it, Arch. That's one of those things where you can't let that other dugout sense it, and I think that was the biggest thing with Carlos Carrasco tonight. Tempo has always been a huge proponent of how consistent he's been with success.
That's driven pretty well to left, but Rasmus runs it down near the line, and there are 2 down. Well, let's take a look at how the Indians have been patient here tonight and how that has led to some of their success.
Yeah, you guys can see where his fastball is up the whole time in the first inning, and you can just see his tempo in and of himself. He's trying to feel for it. And Arch, you talk about you don't have it right away. I think this was so evident from Chris Archer. The facial expressions, every time he delivered a pitch, there wasn't confidence, there wasn't conviction behind it. He was really feeling through his mechanics that first time around, and the Indians really made him pay for it.
They sure did. And you know, you get that one key hit sometimes is all it takes. But hey, Archer's still in this ball game. He's trying to get through 4. He's at 75 pitches right now.
And Carrasco exited. There's Jeff Desjardins talking with Terry Francona. Training staff obviously taking a look at Cookie, and we'll pass along any word once we find out. Hopefully that's, as I said before, hopefully that's nothing of a serious nature, because with Corey Kluber on the mend and hopefully getting closer to returning to the rotation, they're already on shorthanded.
Guys, I'll tell you a huge red alert when Mickey Callaway makes the visit to the mound, and then all of a sudden Nick Goody comes up after the next pitch. You knew something was awry, and not to take anything away from how ineffective he was. I mean, I think we all understand that on paper it looked like that duel was going to be there tonight, but from a bullpen perspective, and I saw Goody just hustle up here and start firing off fastballs, you knew something wasn't right.
2-1 pitch, and now everybody else in that bullpen knows that they could be called upon at any moment's notice. So this might. Do you ever go into a game, Jensen, in the bullpen saying, well, I probably have the night off because so-and-so's on the mound?
Yeah, I think as the closer, you kind of know in the 7th inning where, all right, I've pitched a couple days in a row, maybe they'll try and stay away from me. But you think about Goody, you think about Boone Logan tonight, and possibly Danny Otero being in this ballgame.
Brantley grounds out, and Chris Archer works a quick 1-2-3 4th inning. 7-5 Indians.
Baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. And by Cleveland Clinic, Express Care Online. Download it now for free. All right, 7-5 Cleveland. Fifth inning, and this game's just getting started, or that's the way it kind of feels anyway. Daniel Robertson taking over for Abraham Almonte in right field. Abe's been dealing with a little bit of a bicep injury here of late, missed a few games. They had a big triple in the second inning, but he's out of there. Colby Rasmus 0 for 2 leading off. Nick Goody came on to finish the fourth. Boone Logan, left-hander, up in the bullpen. Jensen Lewis joining us once again from out there just above where Logan is getting loose. He's got the bullpen perch. And Goody delivers a strike. It's quickly 0-2.
It's bringing back old memories, boys. Better vantage point for me. I think this is where Manny Ramirez hit the home run off me in the playoffs in 07, though.
That's a long way out there, isn't it?
I had to build the set on top of it to hide it.
I think Logan's up for Kiermaier, who's due up third in this inning.
Up high 1-2. Gents, I wanted to get your thoughts on the at-bat that Goody had against Longoria. He comes in there, tough spot obviously, got a couple of guys on, 2 out, trying to get that last out of the inning. He goes fastball in to get ahead, make the count 0-2, and then he throws what I thought looked like a good pitch. It's a slider, it's down and away, and Longoria went down and hit it. And Rick said he thought he was looking for the pitch by the way he went down and was able to hook it down the left field line. So my question to you is, you're in that 0-2 situation. You throw your pitch. You think you throw it pretty well. The guy goes down and gets it. Do you second guess yourself on pitch selection after that, or do you feel like, man, I just didn't make a good enough pitch?
I think you look at Yan Gomes' reaction right there. I don't think he thought that that was the right spot where it might have been the right pitch. Definitely not executed the way we're used to seeing Nick Goody come into those situations. And you know that Evan Longoria has slider bat speed when you go through the scouting reports earlier today. Right pitch, just not executed the way he wanted to.
Didn't get away far enough.
Now he retires Rasmus to start the inning. Tim Beckham is 0 for 2, has struck out twice on the night.
And Matty, if you think about in that at bat for Longoria with runners in scoring position, right sequence, getting that fastball, establishing in, you're way ahead of him. So at that point, you can bounce the slider because he wants to try and make contact to avoid getting out.
1-0 pitch fouled to the right side. You know, we've talked about it before. You know, who has the advantage when there are runners in scoring position? A lot of times, you know, we think the hitter does, but Rick says sometimes hitters give too much credit to the pitchers, and sometimes you see that vice versa. But you can, as a pitcher, sometimes take advantage of the hitters who have that really aggressive mindset.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And sometimes we would throw a BP fastball kind of off of your regular fastball because guys are action early. They're wanting to try to drive in that run.
Fly ball deep to center, but Lonnie Chisenhall is there. Plenty of room. 2 down. Andre Knott is downstairs with some.
Well, the slider has been one of the big talks today. And I know Matt and Rick, you guys have been good at talking about the slider that Nick Goody has and how he's able to command it. And I talked to him today as well as Dan Otero and a few others. And we were talking about his slider, talking about Chris Archer's slider. And then they went to Miller's slider. And Goody told me, he says, I can't throw one like those other guys. I'm only 5'10". I can't get the torque that they get. So mine has to be more of, you know, the up and down. He says Archer throws it harder. I guess what I was getting at is with Jensen with us, all these guys have sliders, but they're all different. How can you pick up which one does what and when?
I think you look at where top to bottom starts here. And again, the slider only designed to miss a little bit of the barrel and as late as possible. The guys that throw it hard, I mean, you think about what Kluber does. He gets a ton of movement. Archer has a ton of movement on his. When you're a reliever and you're a shorter guy in stature like Nick Goody, you can almost make it a little bit of a cut slider where you need some depth with it. You're trying to get horizontal and vertical movement with it.
It's funny because a lot of times these pitches they've melded together, the cutter and the slider. There's sometimes there's very little difference between them.
Well, I think a lot of pitchers now throw a slurve, more of a curveball than a slider.
Yeah.
Slider is intended to break maybe 4 inches, and down, like you say, a little over, a little down, and it's late break. That's a true slider.
The 1-1. I think Corey Kluber actually, he refers to his breaking ball as a curveball. But boy, sometimes it has more of a slider action to it.
Yeah. And now pitchers throw cutters as well. The cut fastball is a big pitch now.
Guys, a lot of it is also dictated with arm slot. When you think about Kluber and you think about where his 3/4 arm slot, it really can be a slider some days and a curveball other days.
Swung on and missed to even the count at 2-2.
So to kind of continue that thought that Andre had, when you look at the stature of Nick Goody and at 5'10", and where he's almost like a catcher on the mound with where his release point is, almost from the ear. So he's not going to be able to get as much lateral movement. He's probably going to get a little bit more vertical down and into a left-hander.
2-2 hit on the ground, foul.
Well, I'll tell you what, from what I've seen from him so far this year, it looks like hitters have a tough time picking up the spin on his slider, because you see some funky swings, especially from right-handers.
And Arch, I think you can agree, when a pitcher has really consistent arm speed, it's going to be tough to pick up that spin, because you're seeing fastball arm speed out of it, and then at the last possible moment, especially with the way Goody has thrown here, he's got that late downward movement and into the left-handers right here.
The 2-2. Hit on the ground in the hole. Kipnis with a dive, gets there, but can't get to his feet in time because Kiermaier gets down the line in a hurry. 2-out single keeps the inning alive, and you got the right-handed hitter Norris, and all likelihood this will be the last batter that Goody faces.
Well, it was actually a good pitch, and Kipnis does a great job to get over and smother it, but he doesn't have time to get up and throw him out. He hit a good pitch, but he hit it where Kipnis wasn't, even though he was able to get over and stop it.
Norris singled in the second. He walked and came around to score in the 4th inning.
So Tampa now has out-hit Cleveland 8-4. But the Indians lead it by 2 in the run column.
Guys, from the looks down here, the call's been made. I think Booney Logan will be in for Dickerson next, as you guys had pointed out. So now, as a reliever for Goody, you can hear the bullpen phone from out there. So you're going to kind of amp up a little bit, because this is your last hitter.
Hit well, deep left, but hooking, foul. And I think Norris might have cracked his bat as he walks over toward the dugout. Either that or he wants a little more adhesive.
No, he needs some new wood. He needs some new wood.
Good rotation right there.
Oh, yep. Yeah. You could see the splinters.
Yeah, they're flying. There's a couple toothpicks out there for us.
Brian Shaw joining Boone Logan down here. And guys, and Matty, I know you asked it earlier, on this kind of a night where you see the starter exit early, kind of everybody except Cody Allen is all hands on deck at this point. You don't know when you may go in because of the situation in the game. It is still a 2-run game in the 5th, but we know how Tito likes to match up. If he feel the game is in the balance, you could see Andrew Miller earlier, you could see Shaw earlier. He's going to try and cut down any possible rally.
Goody deals. Paints the outside corner with a good fastball, and it's quickly 0-2. Yeah, this falls into the old, and I used to love Grover's line about you hope for the best, but you plan for the worst, and this falls under the latter. 2-strike offering from Goody, and a foul back. And every manager, hey, there are some times where a manager might get caught because something happens and you didn't expect it to, where maybe a pitcher just loses it fast. All of a sudden he gives up 3 straight BBs.
Sure, it happens more than we know about.
But you get in a situation like this, and I'm sure he and Brad Mills have already talked over every possible scenario. If this, then we'll get this guy up, and we've got Andrew for whatever, you've got Cody for whatever.
Yeah, we're only halfway through this ball game.
0-2. Hit well, deep left. This is going to be a fair ball. Up against the wall. Brantley plays it well. Flying into third is Kiermaier, who'll have to stop there. And Derek Norris stays perfect on the night with a 2-out double.
Well, you look at Kiermaier and Norris, they're 4 for 4, and they've scored 3 runs. They've been on base all 6 times. There's another hanging slider. This one did not go down. This one stayed right there middle of the plate, and he mashes it down into the corner. That'll be his 4th double, and that is going to bring Tito out to the mound, and Goody's night is over, and the Indians are trying to get out of this 5th inning and keep a 2-run lead intact.
Goody works officially 1 inning. He leaves with the 2 runners aboard, his responsibility. 3 hits allowed. 1 walk he was intentional. And so as Boone Logan comes in to get loose, we'll talk to Jensen about Carlos Carrasco tonight. And you know, I mentioned it early, Jensen. There are some nights where you come in as a pitcher and you just don't have it. Now, when you came out of the bullpen, if you didn't have it, you didn't stay around long. But as a starter, you're trying to somehow work your way through this game.
And I thought he was too. It didn't have the high walk totals that Chris Archer did, but lack of fastball come in. The changeup just wasn't there tonight. He got a couple of sliders that really helped him out. You see the visit here. Mickey's trying to read him right now. Where are we confidence-wise? Where are we possible injury-wise? And you could just see the body language from Carlos Carrasco most of the night. James Quinlan out there, he's hanging his head. That's a surefire sign. You know that he's not wanting to stay in this game because something is really wrong other than just ineffectiveness. Guys, we've been through games where, you know what, the guy just doesn't have it. He gets taken out. But at that instance there, and I said it, especially when Nick Goody runs up the steps here and has to start firing away to get loose, it's much worse than that.
You know, I felt Carrasco, they hit his 4-seamer well tonight when he threw it. And then towards the end, he didn't want to throw it for a strike. He was nibbling with it. And that's when he started falling behind. He had trouble with his off-speed pitch, his changeup. His slider wasn't very good tonight. He normally has a very good slider.
I think that when Mickey Callaway went out there, when we had that last look, it looked like I could read his lips, and it looked like he said, "Is something wrong?"
Yeah.
And obviously, whatever he told him, he went back and relayed to Tito. And as Jensen said, soon thereafter, Nick Goody got up in the bullpen. Now, we don't have any word as to what that was, but we're all keeping our fingers crossed that whatever it is, it's nothing serious. You okay? Is something wrong? I mean, that's what it looks like he's saying to him.
Exactly. Carlos got the glove up, and you know, he's talking to Gomes. He's looking at Gomes, and he's trying. Look at it. Carlos won't look at him.
He's trying to stay in. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to do anything he possibly can because in his mind, hey, we're all competitors. We don't want to leave the runners out there because that goes against us, and he's trying to get out.
I have 7 runs on the board, Mick. Get out of here. I mean, I got to get this win here.
That's right.
It was a 4th inning.
Well, in the meantime, this game's still very much up for grabs as Corey Dickerson steps to the plate. He's 0 for 3 facing Boone Logan. And he slaps the first pitch to left. Brantley is there. He'll make the running catch to end the inning. Jensen, thanks for your insight. Appreciate it.
Thanks, boys.
Halfway through, 7-5 Cleveland. The Tribe Report presented by GMC. It's no laughing matter. Be serious about this, ladies. Alan Jensen will recap the week, get you up to date on the Tribe's minor league teams, and a whole lot more. Carlos Santana, Edwin Encarnacion, and Jose Ramirez due up here in the 5th. Chris Archer about to make his 80th pitch, and Andrew Miller is up in the Indians bullpen, whipping that towel around, part of his routine as he gets ready. Don't know that we're going to see him right away, but that tells me he's definitely getting himself prepared to come into this game.
He does this every game in the 5th inning, regardless if he's going to pitch or not. I think that's just routine more than anything, but I agree with you. I think we're going to see him tonight.
Santana drove in a run on the 1st. Takes down low 1-1. There's Miller after he went through that routine where he just gets up. He's got a towel. He holds the towel almost, like he would throw a baseball. I used to watch Cliff Lee do that too. Something about left-handers, I guess. I don't know. With 2 strikes, the Rays flip-flop their infielders on the shift. They put
just like Minnesota did.
Yeah. They throw Longoria, the third baseman, over on the right side. And Santana fouls it back.
You got back in here earlier in the game and you said, boy, I don't know if Archer's even going to make it through 4 or 5, but he's had 83 pitches now.
Yeah.
And, he's into the 5th inning trying to get through it.
Well, he breezed through the 4th, top of the order, quickly.
But he's thrown 100 pitches in at least 17 straight starts.
And as we mentioned before, 3rd time through the order is usually when opposing hitters tee off. They've hit .321 against him. 3 of the 4 home runs he had allowed prior to tonight all came that 3rd time through the order.
So far they're 0 for 3.
But tonight it's in reverse.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Santana with a frozen rope into right field for a leadoff single.
Yeah, there's the first hit. Now 1 for 4. So does Kevin Cash keep his eye on him? Santana picks a slider. He hit the fastball away. He got that slider down, and I mean, he roped it to right. That was a vicious line drive. That's only the 5th hit for the Indians now. Even though they have 7 runs on the board, that's their 5th hit. 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, and now 1 in the 5th.
Here's Edwin Encarnacion, 0 for 2. Picked up an RBI on a fielder's choice in the 1st. Up and in, ball 1. It's funny how, Rick, when a manager gets a lot of runs early, in this case you get 7 runs early, Terry Francona and a lot of managers will be maybe a little more aggressive than normal because they feel like, hey, this game we have to win. We get 7 runs on the board. We've got to find a way to win.
You don't want to give it back. Absolutely right.
If you're Kevin Cash, on the other hand, you get behind early by a pretty good margin, and you're just trying to sort of manage the ship and maybe tread water. Now, as his team has fought its way to get back in this, his mindset may have changed from the way he manages the rest of this game.
Well, the Indians finally put a 0 on the board at the top of the 5th. They hadn't done it in the first 4 innings, so they were clawing their way back into it, and they're back into it now. So his will change now.
Tampa's bullpen about to spring into action, especially after the count went to 3-0 and Encarnacion. The phones were ringing. Guys were scrambling into position out there in the Tampa bullpen.
Diego Moreno getting loose. Here's the 3-1, and Encarnacion fouls it back. Tampa going with an 8-man bullpen. We saw Minnesota over the weekend. They also had an 8-man bullpen. The 3-2, and he is down on strikes. 5th strikeout for Chris Archer. Off-speed pitch.
Well, it was a slider there, and again a huge swing by Encarnacion, and he comes up empty.
Now here's Jose Ramirez. He's walked twice tonight, and he has scored both times. So he's been able to bring that patient approach. And a double play ball hit right to Miller. The second for one on the first. No, they don't turn it. Ramirez beats it out. And it'll keep the inning alive for Lonnie Chisenhall. Remember back in Toronto, Abraham Almonte, watch the reaction after he hit that fly ball. Did something to his bicep, and that ended up knocking him out for a couple of days. Tonight, he might have re-aggravated it. You saw the reaction.
It's like a stinger there, huh?
Yeah. And then
I mean, he roped a triple in his first at bat, but there's something going on.
That was his second time up, and struck out on 4 pitches, and that soon thereafter is when he left the game. So he may have just re-aggravated that. Lonnie Chisenhall hit the 2-run homer, I should say the 3-run homer with 2 outs in the first inning. Struck out his last time up, but watch this home run early.
2-0. Wheelhouse. Yeah, took advantage of it to make that nice inning a big inning. Really the difference in the game.
5 in the first. Just did catch the outside corner. Diego Moreno continues to loosen as Archer closes in on 100 pitches.
He's throwing over to first.
Tampa Bay has out hit Cleveland 9-5, but the 5 walks, with 3 of them coming in the first inning.
And 3 of them coming in to score.
Outside.
Yeah, you can see the first 3 innings, 20 and plus. He reeled it in the 4th. Right now trying to get out of the 5th in a 17-pitch inning if possible.
Pitch is outside.
Lonnie 13 2-out ribbies. Souza Jr. also.
And again with men on base.
Yeah.
That's when he's been at his best. He likes the pitcher out of the stretch. Draws a walk. That's number 6 on the night for Archer, and we'll see if Kevin Cash is ready to make a move or if he's going to let him face Yan Gomes.
Yeah. Gomes got him the last time up on a slider in, but it seems like he's going to leave him there. There's Yan in his last at bat, got a slider. It was up a little bit. He just missed hitting it out of the ballpark. That was a double, had an RBI. Oh, for another hit now.
He was a little aggressive, and he taps himself on the helmet after chasing that pitch in the dirt.
saying, remember what got us here, being patient.
Well, you know, every hitter does that. You know, you get in that situation, you just feel like he's got to throw me a fastball, and you know, you just it's hard to explain, but it happens. It happens to everybody.
Well, it's like, how many times after a game do we ask a player, well, I was looking for a fastball, I got it, and I hit it out of the ballpark. But you're looking for the fastball. Sometimes you think it's the fastball, and by the time you've already committed, you realize, oh, that's not the fastball.
I know it. Well, no, sometimes you guess fastball and you swing at a curve anyway. Had a good swing there and fouled it back. That's a career high for Archer, 6 walks that he has tonight.
Threw it by him, strikes him out to end the inning, and that was at 98 miles an hour. So he probably knew this was going to be his last batter of the night, and he strikes him out. Muirfield Village Golf Club, May 29th through June 4th. It's your official kickoff to summer, so order your badges at memorialbadges.com. We enter inning number 6. Indians leading it by 2. Brad Miller, Evan Longoria, Logan Morrison due up for Tampa, and Boone Logan, who retired the last batter of the 5th, stays on to face at least Miller. And then we'll see what Terry Francona has in mind after that, with Brian Shaw up in the bullpen. The way Kevin Cash has his lineup situated, from Miller on down, it's left, right, all the way through. The only back-to-back lefties he has is right at the top, with Dickerson, who made the last out in the 5th, and Miller here leading off the 6th.
Shaw ready. We'll see if he leaves him in, if he can retire Miller just to face Longoria. But Miller, no batting gloves. It seems strange nowadays not to see guys with batting gloves, doesn't it?
Miller goes down on strikes, and Boone Logan has done his job. He's faced 2. He has retired them both, striking out Miller. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Lonnie Chisenhall's 2-out 3-run homer made it a 5-run first for Cleveland. Yan Gomes spanked an RBI double in the 3rd, and it was 7-3. But since then, the Rays have come back. RBI singles by Miller, and then an RBI double by Longoria. Cut it to 7-5, and that's where we stand. We'll be right back. Here at the ballpark. Tried with a lot of runs early, now trying to hold on. 7-5 in the 6th. And Brian Shaw on to face Evan Longoria with 1 out in the inning. So it would appear that the plan is for Shaw to try and go an inning and 2/3 tonight, or maybe an inning plus, and then he works Miller for a combination of an inning or so.
Sure.
Longoria is 2 for 3 tonight with a single and an RBI double in his last 2 trips.
Now the thing of it is, after watching both starters, they want their bullpens to come out and start throwing strikes and have quick innings, and that might be able to happen.
Popped him up. Lindor calls for it. Behind the bag. 1 down. That was great. He crossed over an imaginary line between shortstop and second base, and then looked at Kipnis as if to say, my bad, I was on your side of the field. And now Kip's going to draw a line. Look at him. He's going from that's beautiful. He just drew a line in the sand.
Stay on your side of the field.
And now Frankie's like, oh, I got to go on the other side of the line because we have the shift on. I love seeing guys having fun while they're playing the game.
Yeah, this is a pretty good exchange right there. Okay, you're on my side. He knew it. He didn't look at him. He thought he was going to throw it back at him. Very good exchange.
Logan Morrison doubled in a run in the first. They intentionally walked him last time up, and that worked out well when Steven Souza Jr. bounced into a fielder's choice to end the inning with the bases loaded. Frankie's, he's either cracking himself up or he's laughing at whatever Kipnis is yelling at him. Swung out and missed. Brian Shaw dispatches Morrison, and the Tampa Bay Rays here in the 6th inning. 7-5 Cleveland.
Indians lead the Rays 7-5, and Jason Kipnis having a little fun there in the dugout with Brian Shaw and Francisco Lindor. Al Pawlowski with you for the latest on the Braves and the Blue Jays in Toronto. Top of the first inning, base hit up the middle by Nick Markakis. Couple of runners on. They both score. Atlanta takes the early lead. They're now up 5-2. Bartolo Colon looking for his second win of the season. Let's send it back over now to Matt and Rick. Gentlemen.
All right, thanks, Al. Tampa Bay goes to the bullpen for the first time tonight. Chase Whitley, right-hander, coming on. He'll be facing Daniel Robertson, who's getting his first at bat tonight. Robertson came on for Abraham Almonte, and then we'll move to the top of the order. Whitley, last time out was 4 days ago, and in one inning of work against Kansas City, he allowed 2 runs, walked 2, gave up a hit. And Robertson went too far. Robertson smacks it up the middle, but it caroms off the mound right to Miller. And that is out number 1. Our T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. George Springer, Josh Reddick, Alex Bregman. A homer to lead off the gate.
Oh yeah, they had a big first inning. Bregman, a grand slam. That was his first of the year, and that was after the celebration of Derek Jeter. Tanaka went out there and was shelled.
Jason Kipnis fouling it back out of play. Anthony Castrovitz, who writes for MLB.com, he sent out a tweet yesterday saying, in New York, it's Derek Jeter Day, and don't forget to call your mom. Kipnis lines it, base hit right field. This could be down in the corner. Souza can't cut it. Kip's got easily second base, and he'll hold there with a 1-out double.
Nice swing on that pitch. So he's been on 3 out of the 4 times today. This is his first hit. He walked his first 2 at bats, but look at that changeup down and in. He likes that spot down there. Turned on it. Nice line drive down into the corner. Kip will get his 3rd double. So you have some action now with 1 out.
Francisco Lindor 0 for 3 on the night. Chop to second. Miller throws him out. 2 down. Kipnis moves to 3rd. All right, let's go down to Andre Knott. He has the very latest on what happened to Carrasco and Almonte tonight.
Carlos Carrasco was removed due to a left pectoral tightness. Abe Almonte has been removed after aggravating that right bicep strain again in his arm. We'll have more after the game on both of these injuries.
Well, Andre, I would think that's good news where Carrasco is concerned, because it's not anything connected to his pitching arm.
Right, and I thought they were looking at his hand a little bit before that. So, as you said, it's not his arm, it's not his elbow, it's not his shoulder.
Yeah.
It's his, the side, which could be problemsome, but not the arm.
Well, we'll knock on wood. Hope everything's a-okay. We'll keep it tuned here after the game for Indians Live to get the very latest. Meanwhile, Kobe Rasmus makes the catch, and the Indians go quickly on 6 pitches. Indians baseball is brought to you by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partners of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. And by the new 2017 Kia Optima. Oh, look at that, Arch. Fishing for dinner tonight.
Yes, indeed.
A little Lake Erie perch.
Looks very nice out there. It's pretty calm.
It's about that time of year. Get the boats in the water. It's going to start warming up. Call Captain Cook and zap. Anchors away.
Oh, I bet they're already out there.
Camp Running Muck will be
running amok.
It'll be in full bloom.
When we leave town, it'll be on Friday.
There's the pitch outside. 1-1 to Steven Souza Jr. 0 for 2. Drove in a run with a sac fly in the third.
We'll see if they're watching TV tonight. You'll have a text here soon.
Fouled right back. Got a piece of the mask of Yan Gomes before it went to the screen. Andrew Miller. He is ready when needed. By the way, some fans tweeted in the towel drill is to create snap and extension. It's a drill I guess a lot of young pitchers are using.
Well, if that guy does it, I'd do it too.
You're right.
He's got a little leverage at being 6'7", but yeah, snapping. I can hear it. You can see it because what it looks like it makes him do is follow through.
Yeah.
And that towel you probably hear it snap.
And it's something you don't need anybody to help you with. You can do it by yourself in the basement in the wintertime, whatever you need. You know. 3-2 count. Brian Shaw got the final 2 outs of the 6th inning, the only 2 batters he faced. Now Shaw ready. The 3-2. Foul back. You know, as Terry Francona pieces this together with the bullpen, it could even end up in a situation where he uses Shaw for more than an inning. He uses Miller and maybe Cody Allen for 5 out, 4 out save, whatever.
Yeah,
potentially.
The game will dictate that. You're right, though. I'm sure he's thinking all the way down the line.
Leadoff walk to Souza. And that's going to bring up the left-handed hitting Colby Rasmus.
Batting now for the Rays, number 28, Colby Rasmus.
That's what is sometimes fun with regards to watching a baseball game, and you're trying to think along with the manager, knowing that every potential decision that he's thinking about, he's also thinking about if the opposite happens, then what? You know, if he gets this guy out, okay, then the plan goes. But if he doesn't get this guy out, does that change the plan?
But you know, there's also things that go on that he knows that we don't. You know, situations, what guys feel like, what, you know,
right?
Things behind the scenes where we may look at it and say, oh, well, why didn't you bring him in this situation? There's a lot of things that go on.
Yeah, because they, you know, between he and Mickey Callaway and Jason Bray, they talk to the pitchers, you know, hey, so-and-so's got maybe a couple of batters tonight. Maybe so-and-so's got an inning plus tonight. You can use him for more than that.
It always seems, though, with this team or this bullpen, they're never out of bullets. They always have the outs you need, you know, when they ask them. And Tito says they could be gassed, but they'll walk by his office or something during the course and say, I'm good for an out, or I'm good for, you know, a couple of hitters. So that, I mean, he doesn't worry about. He expects them, and he will not abuse them. Pretty good pitch there.
2-2. Yet no one in that bullpen will shy away from the ball.
Right. They want to pitch.
Yep. Well, Shaw trying to do it the hard way, coming back into the count, evening it up with Rasmus. Foul back. And I know in years past, talking to relief pitchers, that, you know, we sometimes get focused on, well, so-and-so's pitched X amount of innings, he's made X amount of appearances, but they always tell you, but that doesn't include how many times you may get up and you don't get into a game. And that's where I think Terry and Mickey and Jason work really well. If they get a guy up, they usually get him into the game.
For most time, yes.
2-2. Swung out and missed. Shaw comes back and strikes him out. One away.
Yeah, he had a late swing on this ball. That was a good fastball. He tried to cut it on the outside edge, and I think it was just a little off the plate. But boy, he couldn't take it, and he ends up swinging through it for the first out.
That's 9 strikeouts for Indians pitchers here tonight. Tim Beckham, 0 for 3, has struck out twice. Third base coach Charlie Montoyo going over the signs. Rocco Baldelli over there at first base. Boy, he was a terrific young player that seemingly was going to be a superstar before injuries just ate away at the bulk of his career. The 1-1. Foul back.
Beckham's had a couple of good swings at some pitches he fouled straight back. Shaw looking back, making sure who's covering if it's hit back to him.
Popped out of play. Beckham not an easy guy to double up, but he has hit into 3 double plays this year. It's funny, how many times do you see an out at first base? You know, it's bang bang, it's so close. And the difference for a right-handed batter is if I was only hitting left-handed. Yeah. That's the step I needed to beat that ball
that's
out.
true. Absolutely right. That's that one step.
Missed inside. Did you ever notice that in your career? Like, you feel like, boy, I'm glad I'm batting left-handed, not right-handed?
Yeah. I mean, you get extra hits. But you know, it all depends on how you get out of the box. Sometimes you swing a bat and you don't get a good jump out and you're laying, you're laying it back. Sometimes you get fooled and you're almost running to first base if you're right-handed. You get a good break out of there.
This might be playable. No, that's going to find the seats. Yeah, it seemed like how many times did we see Ichiro swing and he was halfway to first base by the time he made contact.
Yeah, they run. That's right. They're running out of the box sometimes. Well, you know, anything from the left side of that batter's box down to first baseline under 4 is excellent. You know, anything under 4, and from the right side, if you get 4-1, 4-2, that's really good. So I mean, that's the difference.
what? For a guy who's 0 for 3 and has punched out twice, he's had a heck of an at bat here. This will be pitch number 8.
Yeah, but he's never slowed anything down on him yet. It's been all, seems like to me, cutters. The hard ones, the fastball or the cutter. Coming back with a fastball away.
Fouled it off his foot. And with only 1 out, he did have Souza Jr. running on
and he had an excellent jump. He was gone. It's almost like he started too quick and had to stop.
And for Kevin Cash and company, that's a gamble because Yan Gomes has been so good at throwing out runners this year.
Well, he's banking that Beckham's going to put it in play because he's watching the swings of this at bat and he feels like he's swinging it pretty well against him. So you want to start that runner and see if you can find a hole.
Runner doesn't go. And Beckham fouls it straight back again. "27 pitches for Shaw. 18 of them have been strikes. And 1/3 of the pitches he's thrown since he's come into the game have been to this guy.
Well, and he does strike out a lot. Beckham has struck out 48 times this year. But he's had some pretty good swings off of Brian Shaw. Did he step off?
Yeah, he stepped off.
Oh my goodness, it looked like a balk.
Picked.
Well, he did. He stepped off. He didn't just throw over there. That's what he did the last time. That's a scary situation if you're the base runner. Watch, he's running. Shaw, yeah, he did, but he didn't throw the ball. He might have had him. You see, that goes to show you he doesn't know. He's just holding it. He doesn't see him. He can't put an eye to him. He's closed. He can't even. You have to have eyes in the back of his head.
Time called late.
Well, as a hitter, you don't want to sit and wait either when he sits in that waiting to throw the baseball.
Infield double play depth. Runner does not go, and it's ball 4. Second walk of the inning for Shaw. And this has created a situation that's going to mean Andrew Miller. 2 on, 1 out. Go ahead run at the plate. And it's officially Miller time here at Progressive Field.
2017 Tribe Season Ticket Package. You'll get the best seats at the best prices with the best perks, including access to the summer season ticket autograph party and more. Visit Indians.com for the details.
2 on, 1 out. Andrew Miller coming on to pitch for the Indians, his 16th appearance this year. 17 1/3. He's walked 4 and has punched out 23. With the opposition batting $145 against him. We've got a pinch hitter for Tampa. Batting for Kevin Kiermaier is Ricky Weeks. Weeks is 0 for 5 as a pinch hitter and has struck out a whopping 39 times in 75 at bats. But he's a right-handed hitter, which is why Kevin Cash is trying to.
Well, he figures this is his best bet against the tough left-hander.
The only other guys on his bench, Peter Borges. They have their own Daniel Robertson and a backup catcher.
Yeah, Borges will probably go to center.
Caught the outside corner with a little backdoor breaking ball. Really slowed it down, and it's 1-1. Fastball missed outside. They appealed, but he did not go.
Just a little off the plate.
Ricky Weeks went to camp with Tampa as a non-roster invite this spring. His best year with Milwaukee was in 2010 when he hit 29 homers. He went too far. He had 29 homers, 83 ribbies, and 32 doubles that year. But his last couple of years really tailed off. Last year with Arizona, hit 239 with 9 homers. Two on, 2 out, or 2 on, 1 out, and the turn towards second, but nothing doing. Swung out and missed. Miller strikes him out. It's a pretty good off-speed pitch to finish him off.
Well, yeah, let's take a look at that. The spray sequence here. He goes breaking ball down and away, and then finally puts him in with another good one, 86 miles per hour. And just the angle where that thing comes in from. Swing over the top.
10th strikeout of the night for Indians pitching.
That's about what Tampa averages on a game. Coming in, they had 411. And they played 40 games, so you add 10 more to that every night, it seems like.
And they're not done yet as Derek Norris takes a hack. He is 2 for 2 though, with a single, a double, a walk, and a run scored. Checked his swing and fouled over toward the Tampa dugout, and Miller 1 strike away from getting out of the jam. And this Monday evening crowd showing its appreciation. The 0-2. Got him. Oh, Andrew Miller slamming the door on Tampa here in the 7th. The Rays strand 2. Indians pitchers have struck out 11. Indians lead it by 2. Carlos Santana heading to the plate to lead it off. Peter Borges, as you surmised, will take over in center field. Chase Whitley pitched around a 1-out double in the 6th, and he didn't need many pitches, only 6. All 6 of his pitches were strikes. At least the Indians offered it all.
Yeah.
They were either called or they offered it and everything. So.
Well, things have settled down since the bullpens have been a part of the game. Starters had their struggles.
Santana 2 hits on the night, including an RBI back in the 1st inning. So for both Santana and Kipnis, the lineup change that Terry Francona made yesterday has paid off for both of them. Now the 0-1. A little low.
Well, the interesting thing is that when you put Santana in the 4th spot, he's hit there for many games, you know, in a couple of years. So it's no stranger to him, just like the leadoff spot isn't to Kipnis. And Jason in the last 2 days looked like a different guy up there.
Strike called, 1-2.
Finally got his legs underneath him, and he's swinging it well. And this could give Santana new life.
Here's the 1-2 on its way. In the dirt. I just think it's nice to have a player like Carlos Santana who does not let his ego get in the way. He just wants to be in the lineup, wants to be out there, and wants to play every day.
Help my team win. That's his bottom line, and that's great.
Threw it by him. Good pitch by Whitley. Let's go down to Andre. He's got some more injury news.
Well, tonight there's been a lot of injuries. Let me give you some good news. Corey Kluber today threw a 20-pitch bullpen, which is really good news for the Indians. He'll have a full-fledged bullpen later on in the week, and then if everything goes well with that, he'll have a simulated game a little later on. And Brandon Guyer, here's the bad news. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks with that sprained wrist. There was a little bit more damage in there than they expected.
Yeah, not good news there. But for Kluber, yes.
Ed Carrasco pops the first pitch up. Foul ground. And Morrison got it. And a hat, too.
2 gone.
2 for the price of 1. He got a ball and a hat. He reached in there. It looked like it was in the second row, wasn't it? Where's the hat come from? Oh, that one guy tried to put his hat out to catch the ball. And then he's just snagged. That's how big the first baseman's glove is. He eats a hat and a ball.
Watch the guy's look on his face. So
where'd my hat go?
Oh, hello.
Can I have that back, please?
Oh, that's great. 2 down. Jose Ramirez has walked twice and scored a couple of runs. You were right when you suggested that the folks at Camp Run Amok have their ears on.
Oh, I bet they do.
Our boy Zap is he's not there, but he said I got 3 texts and 2 phone calls in 3 minutes.
They have their ears on. Welcome.
The 1-1 Ramirez is in there for a strike. Bounced one in front of the plate. There has not been a run scored in this game since the top of the 4th inning, when Evan Longoria's RBI double made it 7-5. It's been all goose egg since.
Well, our second game this year where it's going to be a pitcher's duel. That's turned out the opposite way.
And I guess with Kluber and Verlander, that one wasn't as big a stretch, only because they face each other so many times. Teams, both lineups have seen these guys. This one tonight, you felt like had the potential to be a really good.
Well, they were
pitcher.
both on very good rolls. I mean, and it's funny, the same thing affected both of them. Fastball command.
2 years ago, remember Carrasco almost threw a no-hitter against Tampa down in St. Pete.
He sure did. 8 2/3 innings. 0-2 pitch. Yes.
Though we did point out at the top of the show, Archer in his career has had a rough
0-5 against the Indians and 0-3 in this ballpark. He just has not had a lot of luck against the Tribe. Only team in the American League he hasn't beat.
Not only that, but I think the ERA wasn't real good either. Wasn't it over 5?
Yes, it was.
5.14 in his career, and he was charged with 7 runs, 6 earned tonight. Foul back. Lonnie Chisenhall might be next if Ramirez gets aboard. Hit well, right center, long run for Borges and Souza. They won't get it. It's off the wall. Borges with a great bare hand grab, but no chance to get Ramirez, who's into second with a 2-out double. Truly split the outfielders with that hit.
He did. He split it, but for the second time tonight, this is a ball that just missed going out of the ballpark. This will be our Yellowwood bringing the lumber. And Ramirez brought it to the plate that time. That's his first hit. He's been on base 3 out of the 4 times, and not by much. That was Gomes in left center field. So a 2-out double here will give the Indians an opportunity. They automatically just intentionally walked Chisenhall to bring Gomes back up.
Yeah, Gomes had just gotten to the on-deck circle when they issued a 4-pitch take your base to Chisenhall, so he has to hurriedly get himself to the plate. Not much of a chance to swing a bat in the on-deck circle.
Well, if he's not loose by now, then he's never going to get loose. He's ready to go. The situation last time he was in, he got a little anxious, remember, early?
Yeah.
But he had to talk with himself, see if he can come up and just relax.
First pitch swinging foul out of play.
Whitley's thrown 22 pitches, by the way. 17 have been for strikes. And he pops him up. Morrison, the first baseman, calling for it. Inning over. Tribe strands a pair. We go to the 8th. 7-5 Cleveland. Of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. There's Matthew McConaughey checking out the ball game here tonight. He's in town, as I understand, shooting some scenes for a movie. I'll tell you, it's pretty cool how many times we have seen actors and movie productions right here in the city of Cleveland in recent years. Remember, we had Kevin Costner a few years ago. He was in town shooting the movie about the Browns in the draft. We had the Marvel Comics, I think, movie shot in downtown Cleveland.
Yes, I remember they had the Shoreway closed for, what was it, a full week, maybe more than that.
Corey Dickerson. He is 0 for 4 tonight. A couple of strikeouts. Well, Andrew Miller struck out both Ricky Weeks and Derek Norris to end the 7th. I don't see Cody Allen up at this point, so it would appear that Miller has the 8th inning. However, should he run into any trouble here, you might see Cody Allen get up. You got Dickerson, Miller, back-to-back left-handed hitters in the Tampa lineup here in the 8th. Swung on and missed in a full count.
Thought he was getting the heater and he got the slider.
You can see Dickerson grimace as he was swinging, almost as if to say, that's not the one I want to swing.
It's too late. I mean, you got to get it started for a 94, 95 mile an hour fastball. But boy, you know, one of the two. You're not going to hit both of them.
Another off-speed pitch, but he fights it off.
Miller, he's able to tell out there and make an adjustment when he knows those guys are sitting on that slider. He's very adept at throwing that fastball in when he thinks they're sitting on it. And you can tell by the approach.
And a slow hook. He tried to
throw it inside.
Yeah, he tried, but he missed, and so the leadoff man is aboard. Tying run to the plate. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. And earlier in the game, if you missed it, a little fun here at the ballpark. Lindor, he crosses an imaginary line of demarcation. Kipnis takes note, and so Kip says, all right, this is it. You stay on your side, I'll stay on my side. And then they put the shift on, and so Frankie has to bend the line. No, we didn't get to see it, but anyway. One on, nobody out. Brad Miller at the plate.
That's the 14th walk in this game. The Indians have walked 7. And so have the Rays. They walked 7 Indians. So there's 14 walks in this game, to go along with 16 hits.
Strike called as Brad Miller tried to back away. He has 2 hits. He has 2 runs scored. He has driven in a run. Piece of that, and also got a piece of himself. You're talking about Miller not using batting gloves. I think Evan Gattis, right? He doesn't use batting gloves either.
No. The big bear, they can't get any on the paws of them. The claws, they claws way through them.
He just shred them.
Yeah.
Don't bother.
There's select few, not many.
2-2 pitch. Oh, he just did.
Yep.
Ticket to stay alive.
Couldn't hold on.
Early in his career, especially, I remember Coco Crisp did not wear gloves, and he said the reason was very simple. He said, I like to have the feel of the bat, and you know how much of baseball is a feel thing, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, but in cold weather though, it'd get up there, and that's when it's the tough part to, you know, where the bat doesn't slide. And but you know, it's all up to the individual. But you're right, he's got a good feel.
Threw the bat at it here, and Ramirez can't make a play. Boy, oh boy, nothing you could do there. He just kind of.
It's a great at bat to put it in play. Swing and bunt is pretty much what it was. You're playing back because there's, you know, he's not running. There's 2 strikes, and he just puts the ball in play. Ramirez wisely decides to hold on to it. He wasn't going to get him at first base. He looked behind him at second. He wasn't going to. Dickerson wasn't going to round it. So now you're going through the meat now, first and second, and nobody out.
And Evan Longoria is the batter. And it looks like the Tribe's bullpen will spring into action. I would imagine it'll be Cody Allen. Ground ball to third. Ramirez goes to second. There's one on the tag. That's all they'll get. Kip wasn't sure if he held his foot on the bag long enough, so he made the tag just to be sure.
Smart play. Smart play to just get one and don't be a hero, because I'm not sure he would have got Longoria. I thought Ramirez was going to tag the bag and go to first like he did earlier in the game. But he decides to go to second for whatever reason. Maybe he felt he was too far away. But I'll tell you what, that to me is pretty good. That's a good play by Kipnis to tag him. And that's what happened. The runner was in his way. If you have to hit him in the coconut, you got to throw it. But that's probably why that throw went a little off the mark.
Well, first and third. The tying run, though, stays at first base because of that force out.
Well, for Kip, I still think it was a good choice to tag him just to make sure, because it was, even when we looked at the replay, it was tough to figure out.
Yeah, because if he says you're off the base and you throw to first and you get an out, now the tying run's at second.
Right.
And so it puts a little more pressure.
Right. Get one. Don't worry about two. One at a time. It wasn't his fault there.
And you keep the double play in order. Morrison swings and misses, and it's 0-2. Cody Allen getting ready. Did he go? They appeal. He did not. 1-2. The thing that's been really refreshing, at least for me, in talking with Andrew Miller, is how here's a guy who's truly at the top of his game, one of the top, if not the best reliever in baseball. But when you talk to him, he's always talking about getting better, improving, trying to figure out how I can get better in situations. He doesn't feel like he's made it, and he needs all that praise.
You can always improve in this game.
In the dirt. I think that's probably what helps him keep his edge too. You know, because if you listen to everybody tell you how great you are, after a while you start thinking, well,
he went from a starter to a bullpen guy. You know, now he can close. He sets up. He's in a different dimension here in Cleveland, the way they use him, because of Cody Allen. So it's a dynamic duo. Well, he's got he could use a strikeout right here.
in the air. Deep center. Lonnie Chisenhall makes the catch. 2 down. Tagging and coming home to score is Dickerson. It's a 1-run game now at 7-6. Morrison gets the RBI, and that's a well-earned RBI for him.
Well, you look at the left-handers set up this inning off Miller. It was Dickerson who walked to lead off the inning. It was Miller who put the ball in play on a swinging bunt that sent him first and second. And Longoria hit the ball we thought could be a double play. It wasn't turned. And then the sacrifice fly. So the left-handers have done the damage in this inning. So that's pretty good.
And Steven Souza Jr. to the plate with that tying run at first. For Tampa, Kevin Cash, he's got to feel really good about his club, regardless of how this one ends. To fall behind early in the hole they did, and a battle all the way back to make this thing tight right to the end. The Indians led 5-1 after 1. And they led 7-3 after 3 innings. And
they're walking.
He went too far on the appeal. Gabe Morales punches him out, and that ends the inning. Rays close the gap to a single run, 7-6 as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
who was punched out by first base umpire Gabe Morales on a check swing, begs to differ with the umpire as he goes back out to take his position defensively.
No, he's not going to change it right there. You know, it was called.
He just said you went too far. Now get out there.
Yeah, basically.
Here's the storylines recap brought to you by Mazda. So much for the pitchers duel, and the new look lineup has definitely produced some new results. Though, give credit where it is due, the Tampa pitching has knuckled down here, and they've held the Indians scoreless in the last 4 innings tonight.
Well,
so
it's a 1-run game here. It went from a 7 to, what was it, 7-1 game, or 7-2 to it's 7-6.
Jumbo Diaz is the new pitcher for Tampa. 19th appearance on the year. Now this guy, he can wow you with the radar gun, but consistently that's been his problem. And you see there the 8 strikeouts, or the 8 walks against 14 strikeouts and 17 innings of work, and the opposition hitting .288 against him.
Well, we remember Jumbo in a Cincinnati Reds uniform.
Hard to forget.
Yes, he is hard to forget. Before we reconfigured the bullpens out there, remember we had live action. He threw one out of the bullpen into play that came into play in a game here.
David Murphy.
That's right.
He got fooled going around third. He thought the ball he saw in the outfield was the one in play.
Never
it was actually the one that Jumbo threw.
I've never seen that before. Probably never see that again.
Daniel Robertson leading off for Cleveland. Bounds it right to Longoria. And 1 pitch, 1 out. We're right back here tomorrow night. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Danny Salazar hoping to get his season turnaround. Jake Odorizzi off to a good start for Tampa. Indians Live. Our coverage begins at 5:30. First pitch at 6 o'clock. Once again tomorrow night. Hope to see you down there. Only 14,613 in attendance here tonight. But with the temperature scheduled to shoot into the 80s tomorrow, be a perfect night to come on down to the yard.
Great baseball weather.
Jason Kipnis has walked twice. He has doubled. Has a stolen base. And it takes 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Obviously, Diaz is a great example of how all fastballs are not created equal, because you see 98, 99. I think he's hit 100 at times. But getting outs has been a different story for him in his career. 98 is one thing, but deception and movement, that's what gives a pitcher the ability to be a consistently top-end performer.
Well, he runs one away, boy, and that's self-defense. It went right into his glove. He was going up to block it, and it goes right in. So they give this 1-3. So he gets 2 quick outs.
18 times this year, Rays pitchers have hit 99 miles an hour or faster on the radar gun, and Jumbo Diaz is one of the guys who's hit that number. 98 tonight. Jose Alvarado is the flamethrower in the Tampa bullpen. Francisco Lindor launches one deep and gone. A 2-out solo homer for Lindor, his 9th home run of the year. And the Indians lead is 2 runs here in the bottom of the 8th, as it's now 8-6 Cleveland.
Nice little insurance run there. Frankie knew it. That's number 9 for him on the year. And well timed. Makes it a 2-run game. They hit the 8 mark again.
Of his 9 home runs, that's the 4th that has come in the 7th inning or later.
he shoots one down the left field line. And Michael's into second base with a 2-out double, his 5th on the year. And he takes the 98-mile-an-hour pitch and just shoots it the other way. But watch the off-speed pitch.
Yeah, slider right down in the wheelhouse. I think Diaz knew it as soon as it left the bat. Got into those seats. And then Brantley comes up and sliced one the other way. So with 2 outs, a little 2-out lightning going on.
Another intentional walk. Carlos Santana will be put on base with 2 outs. Gives the Indians 2 base runners, and Edwin Encarnacion coming to the plate. And again, Rick, whether it's making a location mistake with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball or hanging a slider, Jumbo Diaz, he's got the arm.
It's been the history of him.
Just can't quite.
Doesn't matter how hard you throw.
Not up here.
It's all about location. You might be able to get it by a couple of times, but you still.
Ground ball. Miller tags the bag, ends the inning. But Francisco Lindor gives Cody Allen another run to work with. 8-6 Tribe as we go to the 9th. The Indians right now on top of the Rays 8-6. Cody Allen into the game for the Tribe as we welcome you back to center field. Jensen Lewis, Al Pawlowski. Well, a couple of days ago, Jensen, everyone concerned about the offense. Where's it at?
Yesterday, 8 runs. Today, 8 runs. So far, the offense has bailed this team out. And they knew coming into today that Chris Archer was a guy that they had handled. He still hasn't beaten the Indians. He's 3 outs away from still not beating the Tribe. All right, so after the game, we have plenty to talk about on Indians Live. Make sure you join us for that. It is brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. For the call of the 9th, back upstairs we go. Here are Matt and Rick. Fellas.
All right, thanks, Al and Jensen. And here in the 9th, it's Cody Allen. Try to stay perfect on the year in his save role. 9 for 9. He's got the 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for Tampa. Kobe Rasmus, Tim Beckham, and Peter Borges due up. It has been an interesting game, with the Tribe jumping early to a 5-1 lead after the first. They led it 6-2 after the second. They led it 7-3 after the third. Tampa got 2 in the fourth. It stayed that way until the 8th when they added a run. The Indians come back with a run on the bottom of the 8th. And here we go, 8-6 Cleveland in the 9th, and Rasmus over the top of a curveball for strike 1. Rasmus 0 for 4 tonight, has punched out twice.
Check swing, nice.
Carlos Carrasco struck out 6 batters in just 3 2/3 innings of work. The bullpen has combined for 6 strikeouts since taking over in that 4th inning. Struck him out. 3 pitches, 3 nasty curveballs from Cody Allen.
Yeah.
Hitter now for the Rays, the shortstop.
When Andrew Miller and Cody Allen are the final 2 pitchers of a game in that order, the Indians have won them all.
That's pretty impressive. Well, let's hope it stays that way. He didn't give Cody Rasmus any swinging room. 3 straight pitches.
Tim Beckham walked his last time up. He's 0 for 3 on the night. And he sees a curveball and swings and misses.
Well, Cody was watching. They were searching early for fastballs in this ball game, and they had some success. Well, he's coming out, and he's got a nice hook tonight.
Up and away. Well, we know Miller and Allen are quite the duo, but they've got a great supporting cast in the rest of that bullpen, because if you take the 6th inning on, when the Indians lead after 6, they haven't lost a game this year. Now sometimes it is Andrew Miller for 2, but tonight it was Andrew Miller for an inning and 2/3. Brian Shaw figures into that mix as well at times. And tonight the Indians had the lead when they went to the bullpen in the 4th inning.
Yeah, that.
And they've made it stand up. Swung out and missed. Down on strikes is Beckham. Gomes throws to first, 2 down.
The 14th strikeout of the night, and it's a curveball in the dirt, and he's not giving him anything to hit. He chased that one that bounced out in front of the plate. Gomes throws it to first base. 2 up, 2 down, both strikeouts.
Peter Borges gets his first at bat of the night. And the 1-0 pitch popped him up. Foul territory by the dugout. Santana gives it a look, but he can't get to it. Indians trying to win back-to-back games. Looking for win number 20 on the year. A little high coming into tonight. Only 3 teams in the American League had reached the 20-win mark: New York, Baltimore, and Houston. The 2-1. High fly ball. Left field. Back is Brantley. Looking up. And it's gone. And it's a one-run game as Peter Borges, in his first at-bat of the game, goes deep.
Well, in this game, Andrew Miller gave up his first run of the season, and now Cody Allen just gave up his first home run of the season. And Borges, boy, I'm telling you, he got on a high heater and got on top of it. That ball had some carry to it, a short, quick swing through that heater. That makes it an 8-7 ball game.
And that's only the third run allowed this year by Cody Allen. But right down to the wire we go, and Derek Norris is the batter. He has 2 hits, a single, a double. He has walked, and he has scored a run. Norris swing and a miss. Now the 0-1. And a curveball in there for a strike. He's ahead of him, 0-2. The 0-2 offering. A little bit off the plate. Tried to get him to chase. Wouldn't do it. Cody nods in agreement. And the 1-2 to Norris. Curveball popped him up. Santana gives chase near the dugout. He's got it. The Indians maintain their mastery of Tampa. They beat him for the 11th time in the last 12 meetings. 8-7 is the final, as the Indians become just the 4th team in the American League this year to reach the 20-win mark, as they go to 3 games above 500 at 20-17 on the year, and are a half game back of Minnesota in the AL Central. Tampa Bay is now 19-22 on the season.
He gets over into that camera bay, makes the catch, ends the game. Look at upset Norris making the final out. He didn't want to end it that way.
Boone Logan's going to get the win, his first as an Indian. Cody Allen, his 10th save in 10 tries. Losing pitcher is Chris Archer. He's now 3-2 on the year. So for the second game in a row, the Indians' revamped offense puts a bunch of crooked numbers on the board. They get out to the big early lead, and the bullpen holds on. 8-7 is the final. We'll have some final thoughts right after this.